Chapter 892. It's a unique method. Don't you know? I don't know, Meowshina said. It's the biggest secret in our stockade. It should have been passed down for hundreds of years. Such a secret is only in the hands of a few people. Is it the core secret of a valley of thousands of medicine? You can understand it that way. An 80-year-old man with a 40-year-old body, or even younger, sounded incredible. How'd he do it? Who else has this ability besides your chief? Su Xin Yuan asked. A few elders in the stockade. How old are they? 80 or 90 years old. Are they still healthy? Very healthy, Meowshina said. It's estimated that they can live for another 30 years. At least that was how they were when I left. That was an unexpected discovery. Health and longevity were one of the biggest wishes of almost everyone. By the time they were 80 or 90 years old, they would not be blind or deaf. They would be able to walk as if they were flying and could take care of themselves. They would not be paralyzed in bed, needing to be fed medicine, fed, and urinated. That was what many people longed for. The stockade in the deep mountains and forests actually hid such a big secret. Why don't you promote it? Meowshina asked. You said that there's only one surname in your village. The men don't marry outside women, and the women don't marry outside men. In that case, you're all real clansmen with the same blood. Isn't it better to be healthy and live a long life? Well, I've heard my parents mention it before. That process may be relatively harsh and requires a large amount of precious medicinal herbs. There are also certain risks. In the past, people have died because of that process, so very few people use it. Oh, Su Xin Yuan nodded. In this way, the explanation made sense, but it was still very interesting. In today's society, people with money and power had everything. As long as money was available, precious herbs were naturally not a problem. This matter needs to be investigated thoroughly, Su Xinyuan thought. I think you should contact those friends who came out of the Valley of Thousands of Medicine and confirm if this matter has anything to do with them. Okay, I'll contact them again, Meowshina said. Do you have friends who have been implicated because of this incident? He asked. Yes, he was heavily implicated, Su Xinyuan said. As the main person in charge of He County, Guo Zhenghe was greatly implicated. In fact, the higher-ups were already very dissatisfied with him, but for various reasons, they still endured it. I'm sorry, Meowshina said after a moment of silence. It's none of your business. You don't have to apologize. I'm guessing that this matter is most likely related to the stockade. By the way, an outsider once entered the stockade to learn medicine, Meowshina suddenly recalled. Study medicine? Yes. Who is the most famous doctor in southern Yunnan? King Pharmacist, Su Xingyan said after thinking for a while. You've heard of it? I've heard of him. He's very famous. It's said that as long as you can find him, there's no disease that can't be cured. There are even rumors that he can cure those incurable diseases. It's just that the cost of treatment is very special. Yes, he used to study medicine in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. What? Hearing this, Su Xingyuan was shocked. Who else? I don't know, but the number of people must be very small, Meowshina has said. Moreover, to study medicine in our stockade, one needs the consent of the chief. The king pharmacist of Miaojiang was a student of our previous chief. The previous generation's patriarch? That means that your previous patriarch's medical skills are very impressive? Of course, as far as I know, there is no disease that he can't cure, Meowshina said. According to the rules of the stockade, the chief of each generation has always been the person with the strongest medical skills. All the generations? All of them. What about this generation? Miaoshi River is an amazing figure, Meowshina said. Whether it's his medical skills or his use of poison, he's a very good person. The old chief praised him and said that he is the most outstanding person in the stockade in 100 years. Meowshina said, although I hate him very much, I have to admit that he does have considerable ability. Is he that good? He is a master in medical skills, kung fu, and poison, Meowshina said. Of course, it may also be that I don't have much contact with people, so I think he is too good. All right, there are two things I need you to do. First, settle yourself down. If you need anything, just tell me. Second, please use your methods to help me find out who is behind all this. and where the missing Miao Qin Shan might be, while protecting yourself. Okay, I will try my best. Well, you must protect yourself. Your stockade is not as peaceful as it seems on the surface. Well, I know, Miao Xin has said. Remember to let me know if you need anything. Got it, thank you. You are welcome. In fact, to put it bluntly, we are each taking what we need. By the way, how are your medical skills? I know a little, but I am not proficient, Miao Xin has said. Although their stockade was said to have studied these things for generations, not everyone was proficient. After all, some people were not willing to learn this, and some people were really not suitable to learn this because they were not talented. Su Xingyuan left the place where Miao Xinhe temporarily lived. After he left, Miao Xinhe's face instantly became a little gloomy. Clan Chief, I've troubled you. I hope you like it. After saying that, he smiled. It was a smile that gave off a very sinister feeling. After Su Xingyuan left Jizhou, he flew straight to southern Yunnan. In the neighboring Qi province, in Lianshan County, on Nanshan Hill, in the stone battle array, there were two people. How is it? Have you found any patterns? Wang Yao held a cup of tea and looked at Su Xiaoxue with a smile. A few days later, the two of them came to Nanshan Hill. Su Xiaoxue insisted on entering the stone battle array. Wang Yao was not at ease, so he followed her in. As a result, Su Xiaoxue could not find the way out after entering. Well, I can't find any patterns, Su Xiaoxue said. The stones looked different in size and shape. There was no pattern to the vegetation on the ground. After entering, it felt like they were circling around the stones, but they could not find the way out. They always felt that they were surrounded by stones. It was as if they were trapped there by these lifeless stones. Su Xiaoxue tried to make some marks on the stones, but she found that they were still circling in place. What is the principle of this? Su Xiaoxue asked curiously. Well, yin and yang, the 5 elements, and some other things, Wang Yao said with a smile. If you want to learn, I can teach you. Well, forget it. Su Xiaoxue thought carefully and shook her head. I have enough courses now, and I also have to practice Kung Fu with the teacher. This battle array must be very profound. It is not very profound, Wang Yao said. Come on, I will explain the basic knowledge to you. Wang Yao explained the most basic knowledge to Su Xiaoxue. As he spoke, the scene in front of them changed. The stones disappeared and were replaced by lush trees. When they looked back, the formation of chaos stood quietly behind them. It looked really ordinary and nothing special. Only when they entered it would they discover the mystery and feel deep regret and fear. It is so magical, Su Xiaoxue exclaimed. After Wang Yao's explanation, she had a preliminary understanding of the battle array. Let's go, Wang Yao said. Let's go to other places. Okay. The two of them wandered around the mountain. On Nanshan Hill, the climate was mild. Even in such a cold winter, once they left a certain range and went to Xishan or Dongshan Hill, the climate would immediately change. The wind on the mountain was already strong, let alone in such weather. It was quite cold and whistling. Are you cold? No, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. Ah, with your current cultivation, you should almost be able to reach the level where you are immune to cold and heat, Wang Yao said. Well, I tried it when I was in Jing. Even if I wore very little, I would not feel cold. If I wore too much, I would not feel too hot, Su Xiaoxue said. The changes in the weather did not have much impact on her body. Sir, can you teach me a few more moves of Kung Fu? Kung Fu? Yes. Well, I will teach you the Kung Fu I'm best at, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. As early as when they were in Jing, Wang Yao had taught her some Kung Fu. However, it was the most basic foundation of boxing and was not profound. Space-splitting fist. Yes, space-splitting fist, Wang Yao said. This was the Kung Fu he learned from the ancient boxing scripture. It was also the Kung Fu that he had studied the most. When combined with his Neishi, it was very powerful and magical. It looked like a simple punch, but it could produce unimaginable power. Su Xiaoxue learned very seriously. Sir, is this Kung Fu very powerful? Well, it is quite powerful, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. Won't that kill someone? Well, if you use force, it will, Wang Yao said very seriously. Ah, I have to be careful. Su Xiaoxue smiled. Her eyes were like crescent moons, beautiful and lovely. You will get used to it. Practice makes perfect. Kung Fu is practiced and comprehended, Wang Yao said. His explanation was very detailed, and he himself also did a round of punching. It was very slow, especially when it came to some parts that required a lot of skill. Don't look at it as a simple punch. Punching, dermic powers, and breathing were all techniques that required coordination and training. I didn't expect there to be so many skills in it. Of course, Kung Fu, Wang Yao said. This was external Kung Fu, and Neishi was internal Kung Fu. The combination of internal and external, the integration of yin and yang, and the intersection of illusion and reality was profound Kung Fu. The happy time was very short. A day passed just like that. It was dark. The mountain village was very quiet during the day, and even more so at night. However, Wang Yao's house was very lively. Wang Ru and Du Mingyang had also come back. Chapter 893. When the whole family got together, it was naturally very lively. Wow, she's so beautiful. This was the first time Du Mingyang had seen Su Xiaoxue. He was shocked. Of course, he had heard Wang Ru mention her identity, which was even more amazing. Especially for him, who was in the officialdom, this identity was very high and noble. He couldn't imagine that she had become his brother-in-law's wife. He didn't know what ability his brother-in-law had to be able to win the favor of such a noble. It seemed that she was the kind of person who paid for it. After dinner, Du Mingyang suggested playing poker. Shall we play cards? Okay. There were 6 people in the family. Zhang Xiuying didn't participate. The 5 of them played to protect the emperor. In the first round, Su Xiaoxue was the emperor and Wang Yao was the treasure. They won very smoothly. In the second round, Wang Yao was the emperor and Su Xiaoxue was the treasure. They won again. In the third round, it was still the 2 of them. No way, you have telepathy. Du Mingyang was surprised. It's a coincidence, Wang Yao said with a smile. To be honest, he also felt that this matter was a bit too coincidental. I don't believe it. Again. Haha, I'm the emperor. Who's the treasure? Du Mingyang asked. I am. Wang Ru was happy. This time, the 2 of them were a team. They lost, and they were in a mess. Oh, what's the situation? We lost 4 times in a row. Du Mingyang subconsciously wanted to take out his pocket and light a cigarette. However, he suddenly found that his neck was a little cold. He looked up and saw Wang Ru staring at him coldly. Well, I'm used to it. Haha. He smiled and scratched his head. Ever since he found out that his wife was pregnant, he didn't dare to smoke at home. Well, he couldn't help it. He would chew gum. At most, he would smoke 1 or 2 cigarettes when he was drinking with his buddies outside. Then, he had to let the wind blow at him hard. He didn't go home until he was sure that he didn't smell of smoke. He was a very responsible husband who loved his wife very much. Again, Wang Ru said. She also felt that what happened tonight was a bit strange. All right, let's do it again. Wang Yao didn't care, but Su Xiaoxue, who was sitting next to him, smiled. She was a little embarrassed. She had already won 4 rounds in a row. She didn't know why, but her luck tonight was particularly good. In fact, she wasn't very good at playing cards, but every round was a good one. Every round was with Wang Yao, so she felt very happy. She played cards very smoothly, and then she won. It was that simple. In this round, Su Xiaoxue's emperor and Wang Yao's Baozi won. They did not encounter any obstacles. My God, Du Mingyang was speechless. He really wanted to win, but there was nothing he could do. The biggest card in a deck of cards was 2 aces. How could he win? Even if his card skills were good, he had to at least have a decent deck of cards. Again, he now had a certain gambler's mentality. After losing, he always wanted to win. Of course, it was not so serious. The key was that he was too aggrieved. Basically, he had always been with his wife and father-in-law. He had never won a round. He always felt that it was not the case. Then, they continued to play cards. They had 2 rounds in a row, but they didn't win a round. He was completely convinced. That night, even playing cards was so strange. Wang Yao and Su Xiaoxue had been together all night, and they both won. They didn't lose a round. Can you not be so telepathic? You make me so passive. Well, let's stop here. It's not early. Xiao Xue should go to bed early. Zhang Xiuying came over and said, "Oh, okay." Du Mingyang immediately said, "Now, nothing was more important than his pregnant wife. Every night, she had to go to bed at about 9 o'clock. No matter how busy Du Mingyang was, he would rush back to accompany his wife before 9 o'clock. In fact, since Wang Ru was pregnant, he basically didn't go out to drink and eat anymore. It's really strange tonight. Yao and Xiao Xue are always together, and they haven't lost a round." Lying in bed, Wang Ru was still wondering about what had happened that night. "Maybe they are telepathic," Du Mingyang said. "Do you mean we are not telepathic?" Wang Ru asked. "No. Aren't we always in the same group?" "Of course, we have a telepathic connection," Du Mingyang said quickly. "Then why haven't we won a round?" Wang Ru asked. "Because your cards are not good," Wang Ru said. "You have a king in every round. I have an ace in several rounds. How can I win? It's like I have a knife in my hand, and they have an AK-47 in their hands. It would be strange if they could win. Haven't you noticed that as long as Xiao Xue plays a card, your father basically doesn't want it?" "Huh, I didn't notice that," Wang Ru said. "Well, don't think so much," Wang Ru said. "Go to sleep. Playing cards is for fun. Can you be happy after losing all night? It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I'm going to sleep." It was very quiet at home. The family slept peacefully. The next morning, Zhang Xiuying got up very early. She had to prepare breakfast for the family. Wang Yao also got up very early. He came to help. Su Xiaoxue got up almost at the same time and went to the kitchen to help. "You don't have to, Xiaoxue. Why don't you go back to sleep?" "No, Annie, I'm awake." Clink, clink, clink. The sound of busy work signaled the beginning of a new day. Today was the day of the opening of Nanshan Pharmaceutical. It was a good day. Wang Yao was neatly dressed for the first time. He was in a suit. Su Xiaoxue was also very beautiful. Zheng Weijun had prepared everything early. When he saw the two of them, especially Su Xiaoxue, his eyes lit up. What a beautiful woman. When he heard Wang Yao's introduction, he almost instantly guessed the origin of the woman. It was the Su family's house in Jing. Coincidentally, he knew some things about Jing. "Welcome, welcome." "Thank you." Wang Yao led Su Xiaoxue into the factory. They walked around and saw the workers in their uniforms who were busy doing their jobs. Outside, the main leaders of the county and the city had arrived. When the time came, the ribbon-cutting ceremony, the opening ceremony, the sound of firecrackers, and the dragon and lion dance. It was very lively. In fact, both the county and the city attached great importance to this company. Hike was a fourth-tier city. It was a newly built city with a weak foundation and small area. There were no big companies or high-tech companies. The only advantage it had was the advantage of the seaport. The main positive indicators of each year were not so bright. It was at the bottom of Qi province. As a ruler, of course, he hoped that the place he managed could make progress and have bright areas. This company was undoubtedly a bright spot. This was the first pharmaceutical company in Hike. It sounded incredible. There was no pharmaceutical company in a city. Hike really didn't have one. For Nanshan Pharmaceutical, both the county and the city clearly expressed that they would give preferential treatment in various policies. The celebration was very grand. Everyone was very happy. Wang Yao was not happy because he found a medicine in the warehouse that did not meet the requirements. Licorice was a common Chinese medicine. It was very versatile. It could regulate qi, detoxify, and dredge the meridians. In the primordial spirit soup, its main role was to harmonize all the medicines. It replaced the licorice roots, guiyuan. Although the effect was not as good, it was indispensable. The shape and smell of the licorice were problematic. It was not wild. It was planted. It also contained some harmful ingredients. It should be that during the cultivation process, fertilizers and hormones were used to increase the production. Noticing that Wang Yao's expression was not quite right, Su Xiaoxue hurriedly asked, "Sir, what's wrong?" "There is a problem with this medicine." Wang Yao pointed at the licorice. "Is it fake?" "It is not fake, but it is not wild, and it is not a high-quality plant," Wang Yao said. "The smell is mixed, and the color is wrong." "Look." Wang Yao pointed out the problems with the licorice one by one. These licorice are all planted, and they are low-grade, Wang Yao said. They do not meet the requirements of the medicine. After using them, it will affect the efficacy of the medicine. He had to talk to Zheng Weijun about this matter. He had specifically told Zheng Weijun before that he could not be careless with the herbs. Zheng Weijun had to follow his requirements. Wild herbs could not be contaminated. In fact, planting was also possible. Some herbs were planted deep in the mountains and old forests. They were only dug out when they were old. That was the best way to restore the growth environment of the herbs. The efficacy of the herbs was only a little worse than that of wild herbs. Chapter 894. Some things could be compromised, while others could not. This was a matter of principle. Sir, let's go. Zheng Weijun was very busy at the moment. He had to greet the leaders who came to attend the ribbon-cutting ceremony. He would tell him about this matter later. Before leaving, he said to the manager in charge of production, "These herbs can't be used." "Yes, Mr. Wang," the man said respectfully. He knew that Wang Yao's identity was very special. He was the largest shareholder of the pharmaceutical company. His original employer was only the second largest shareholder, but he was responsible for the normal operation of the entire pharmaceutical company. Zheng Weijun had to listen to the words of the man in front of him. Zheng Weijun had also specifically said that no matter what Wang Yao said, he had to obey unconditionally. The other herbs, there is no problem with the other herbs, but without this herb, the entire medicine can't be made, Wang Yao said. Can you pre-process these herbs first? Okay. After the ribbon-cutting ceremony, part of the pharmaceutical company's equipment was in operation. Zheng Weijun booked most of the best hotel in Lianshan County to entertain the dignitaries who came to attend the opening ceremony. Wang Yao did not go. Until now, there were only a few people who knew that he was the major shareholder of the pharmaceutical company. He did not want to attend such an occasion. In the afternoon, Zheng Weijun, who was drunk, came to the pharmaceutical company, but found that the production was not carried out according to the original plan. When the person in charge of production saw him, he trotted to him and told him what Wang Yao had said in the morning. Zheng Weijun's face immediately darkened. "Is there a problem with the herbs?" "Well, I have arranged for someone to test it. There is indeed a problem. The drug residue exceeds the limit." "Drug residue? Didn't I arrange to purchase wild herbs? Where did the drug residue come from?" Zheng Weijun said in a deep voice. "I'm sorry, Chief Zheng. Don't apologize to me. Who is in charge of the procurement?" "Chun. Chun is also an old man," Zheng Weijun said. "Yes. Tell him to come to see me immediately." "Yes, Chief Zheng." The person in charge jogged away. After a while, he brought another person to Zheng Weijun. It was a man in his 50s. He was relatively short, and his forehead was sweating, perhaps because he had been running. "Chief Zheng, were you looking for me?" "Old Chun, how long have you been following me?" "Yeah, it's been almost 10 years. Elder Chun said. He was very nervous and didn't know why this young master would suddenly ask such a question. "You are also an old man. What did I tell you before?" "Repeat it. All raw materials must be wild to guarantee the quality," Elder Chun said. "You still remember? What's with the licorice?" "Licorice?" Mr. Chun was stunned. He immediately understood why Wang Yao was looking for him. "Young master, is there a problem with the herbs? What do you think?" I really don't know." Elder Chun was a little anxious. He had personally supervised the procurement of the key herbs to ensure that there was no problem. Later, because of some matters, he didn't personally attend to the two herbs. He didn't expect that there would be a problem. He was really attentive to the procurement of the herbs this time. He didn't have any crooked thoughts. "Solve this problem within 3 days," Zheng Weijun said after being silent for a while. Yes. Elder Chun felt as if he had been granted amnesty. He kept nodding and bowing. "I'll repeat it again. All raw materials must be according to the requirements. Don't worry about the cost for the time being." Yes. Okay, you guys go." Zheng Weijun waved his hand. He looked disappointed. The two hurriedly left. "Phew, that was close." Elder Chun wiped his sweat. "Elder Chun, how could you make such a mistake?" "I really didn't expect such a thing to happen," Elder Chun said. Do you think I would do such a thing for such a small amount of herbs? We've known each other for a long time. You said within 3 days, Elder Chen said. Don't worry, they dare to lie to me. See how I'll deal with them. Elder Chen's face showed a trace of ruthlessness. After leaving the pharmaceutical company, Zheng Weijun went directly to the mountain village. Well, what's the matter? After seeing Zheng Weijun, Wang Yao was a little surprised. I'm sorry that something like that happened. Zheng Weijun had specially come there to apologize. It's okay, Wang Yao said. It hasn't been used on the herbs yet. I've already dealt with this matter, Zheng Weijun said. In the future, such things will definitely not happen again. Well, yes, this is the most basic attitude, Wang Yao said. If the herbs are good, the herbs will be good. Well, yes. Within 3 days, the wild licorice will be in place. Okay, in a few days, those herbs will be pre-processed. Zheng Weijun didn't stay there for too long. After finishing the matter, he left. This person is very scheming, Su Xiaoxue said. Oh, it's normal for a businessman to be scheming, Wang Yao said. Speaking of which, you are the largest shareholder of this pharmaceutical company, right? Yes, I have the largest shares, but Zheng Weijun is responsible for the operation of the company. I just provide technical support. As you know, I'm not good at management, Wang Yao said with a smile. Well, when I graduate, I can come over to help, Su Xiaoxue said. Okay. Su Xiaoxue stayed there for a day and was ready to leave on the 3rd day. In the morning, Wang Yao only received 1 patient, the child who fainted in the market. After these 2 treatments, the child's condition had significantly improved. He only fainted twice a day. Such progress made his parents very happy. His son's spirit was obviously much better than when he first arrived. His face was ruddy, and his whole person had become more energetic. This time, Su Xiaoxue stayed by the side and watched while the needles were being inserted. One by one, the silver needles were inserted into the child's body. The little guy was lying on the bed in a special state. If he moved a little, the acupuncture points that the needles were inserted in might have gone wrong. At that time, not only would there be no treatment effect, but it might also cause damage to his body. After the treatment, it was still the same bowl of medicine, which was very bitter. How do you feel? Quite good, the little guy said. That's good, Wang Yao said. I'm going to go on a long trip. I won't be back for 3 days. Come back in 4 days. Okay, Dr. Wang, Su Xiaoxue said. For such a long time, they had been looking everywhere for doctors and medicine for their son. They had also suffered a lot. They had survived. A few days of waiting was really nothing. Thank you. Immediately, Wang Yao called Zhong Luchuan over and told him something. He also told his parents that he was going to accompany Su Xiaoxue to Jing. Don't worry, your father and I are at home, Zhong Luchuan said. You don't have to worry about the mountain, Wang Yao said. If you need help, ask Zhong Luchuan. I know, Zhong Luchuan said. Be careful on the road. At noon, Wang Yao and Su Xiaoxue went to hike and took a direct flight to Jing. They arrived at the airport in the evening. Chu Yin picked them up at the airport. After sending Su Xiaoxue home, Wang Yao gave some things he had brought from the mountain to her parents. After chatting with them for a while, he left and went to live in a small courtyard nearby. Chening and Chinzhou were very happy to see him. It was late, so they rested for the night. The next day, Wang Yao got up early. Chening got up even earlier. She had already prepared breakfast. There were several dishes, which were very exquisite. Your cooking skills have improved, Wang Yao said with a smile. Sir, try it. It tastes great. Wang Yao gave him a thumbs up. In terms of cooking skills, Chuning was qualified to be a chef in a star-rated hotel. It's good that you like it. After Chinzhou got up, he practiced a round of boxing in the yard. He looked like a professional and methodical fighter. Well, did you teach him? Yes, I did, Chuning said. Chuning said. In fact, her younger brother had some foundation in martial arts since he was young. If it weren't for that strange disease, he would probably be a good martial artist now. It's very good. Sir, can you give me some advice? Chuning had seen Wang Yao's amazing kung fu. He was simply like a god on earth. Advice? Sure, Wang Yao said with a smile. Thank you, sir, Chinzhou hurriedly said. He had heard from his sister that Wang Yao not only had extraordinary medical skills, but his kung fu was also amazing. It was just that he usually did not show it. Chapter 895. Wang Yao gave him some simple instructions and corrected some of his movements that did not seem smooth. He also slightly adjusted his breathing method. Well, you can try again. Chen Zhou practiced again. He noticed the places that Wang Yao had just pointed out and corrected them one by one. He felt smoother and more comfortable than before. Well, you are talented, Wang Yao said. He had only done it once, but he had noticed all the places that he should pay attention to. It could be seen that Chen Zhou was indeed very talented. Thank you, sir, Chen Zhou said. You guys go ahead. I'll go out. Okay. Wang Yao went to Su Xiaoxue's home and accompanied her to school to attend classes. Hey, here he comes again. Many people in the school now had a deep impression of Wang Yao. After all, there had been 2 people who had directly confessed to the goddess in front of him. As a result, they had pooped their pants and become famous on campus. That was called the confession and pooped pants incident. It went viral on campus for a while. Oh my God, will someone make the same mistake again? This time, there was no one who did not take the initiative to confess in front of Wang Yao. Unknowingly, a day had passed and the lights were on. That night, Su Xiaoxue's parents specially hosted a banquet at home to entertain Wang Yao. After all, he would be their future son-in-law. The next day, Wang Yao accompanied her to class. This time, he went to the famous library of Yanjing University. There were a lot of books in the library. He looked for books about Chinese medicine and found what he was looking for. There were some ancient books. Good stuff. These books could not be seen outside. He was immersed in it and forgot about the time until Su Xiaoxue came to find him. Sir? Hey, is the class over? Su Xiaoxue was having a professional class. It was a small class. It was not appropriate for him to follow. Sir, what book are you reading? You are so fascinated. A medical book. It should be compiled in the Republic of China. It is very rare, Wang Yao said with a smile. There are not many things that could attract him now. This medical book was one of them. Let's go and eat. Sure. After lunch, they rested for a while. Su Xiaoxue still had professional classes in the afternoon. Wang Yao still went to the library to read the unfinished medical book. For 3 days in a row, they listened to classes, read books, and strolled around. It was a plain and sweet day. That was how they spent their days. 3 days later, Wang Yao reluctantly said goodbye to Su Xiaoxue and boarded the plane to Dao City. There were still many things waiting for him to do in Lianshan County. In the mountain village, Jia Zizai drank a bowl of bitter medicine and asked, "When did Sir come back?" This was the medicine that Wang Yao had left for them before he left. It was enough for 5 days. It should be soon, Zhong Luchuan said. Well, senior brother, the potion that Mr. left this time is different from the one we drank a few days ago. Did he change the formula? Well, I don't know, Zhong Luchuan said. He knew nothing about medicine. In fact, this time, Wang Yao did change the formula. He added a little plow grass and increased the amount of Shanjing and Guiyuan. However, it is strange to say that I feel more and more energetic these days, Jia Zizai said. He felt that he had been full of energy for the past 2 days. He seemed to have endless strength. It was not that his body was not energetic before, but relatively speaking, the change was a bit sudden. I think so too, Zhong Luchuan said. Does Sir's medicine have this effect? Anyway, it is not harmful, Zhong Luchuan said. Yes, it is not harmful. When the plane landed in Dao City, it was already evening. Wang Yao did not rush back. Instead, he found a place to stay in Dao City and prepared to go back the next day. At night, he found a hotel to stay. After dinner, it was already past 7 o'clock in the evening. In winter, the sky got dark early. The night in Dao City was very beautiful. Although it was not as prosperous as in Jing, it had a charm. Wang Yao left the hotel alone and walked on the road. The hotel was not far from the beach. It did not take long for him to reach the beach. In winter, the sea breeze was very strong and cold. At this time, no one was at the beach. After all, it was not summer. Standing by the beach, looking at the sea under the night sky. With a creak, a car suddenly stopped by the beach. "Let me go. Xiaofei, listen to me," the man said. "If you don't let me go, I will shout for help, the woman said. Xiaofei, I really love you, the man said. Huh? Wang Yao looked at the car, not far away. With a bang, the car door opened. A very well-dressed beauty got out of the car and ran. A man chased after her and reached out to grab her. Let me go, the man said. If you continue like this, I will call the police. They were at odds. After being so noisy, Wang Yao was not in the mood to continue to stay there. He turned and prepared to leave. Let me go. The two of them started to argue. With a flash of light, a knife appeared in the man's hand. What are you doing? Xiaofei, I really love you, the man said. You can't leave me. You can't leave me. What's the situation? Why is he using a knife? Wang Yao stopped and looked at the man who was obviously in a state of madness. The hand holding the knife was shaking. Are you crazy? The girl was shocked when she saw this. She had indeed proposed to break up with the man in front of her tonight, but she did not expect him to pester her. She was impatient, so her tone was a little harsh. She did not expect him to be so easily provoked. When she was in the car, she felt that something was not right. She hurriedly got out of the car. Just when she thought she had escaped from him, she did not expect him to do such a thing. Ring. Wang Yao's cell phone rang. Xiaoxue. Sir, where are you? Wang Yao asked. I am waiting for Dao. I just had dinner and walked outside. What about you? Have you gone home? I am at home. I just had dinner, Wang Yao said. As the two of them chatted, the man's eyes became more and more fierce. It seemed that he was about to lose his mind. Xiaofei, if I can't have you, I won't let anyone else have you, the man said. This is so melodramatic, Wang Yao said. Sir, is there someone else next to you? Wang Yao asked. I am at the beach, Wang Yao said. There's a pair of young lovers here. It seems that there is something wrong with their relationship. The man is more excited. He is still holding a knife in his hand. You have to be careful, Su Xiaoxue hurriedly said. It's okay. The beautiful woman was so scared that her face turned pale. She did not know how to deal with it. Seeing the man approaching, she suddenly turned and ran. Don't run. The man who had lost his mind chased after her. After running a few steps, his body staggered and fell to the ground. With a clang, the knife in his hand was thrown far away. When the woman heard the sound, she was still in a state of shock. She turned around to take a look, then turned around and ran away quickly. Xiaofei, don't run. The man who fell to the ground struggled to get up and wanted to chase after her. As a result, he fell to the ground again. Sir, are you okay? I'm fine. The problem has been solved, Wang Yao said. Oh, that's good. Seeing the woman run away, the young man suddenly collapsed to the ground. He lay down directly and looked up at the sky. His eyes were blank. It was as if the spirit of his body had been hollowed out. It can't be that serious. Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. It seemed that the young man was also infatuated with love. However, it was a bit too much to threaten someone with a knife. Love was consensual. A forced melon would not be sweet. Wang Yao glanced at the young man lying on the ground and did not say anything. He walked past him. A stranger who threatened someone with a knife because of love was not worth persuading. When he passed by the knife that fell to the ground, he stepped on it. Crack! The young man lay on the ground for a long time before he got up. It was as if he had lost his soul. He looked up and looked around. He found the knife that fell to the ground. He thought about it and walked over. He bent down to pick it up. However, he found that the knife had been broken into many pieces. What? The young man was stunned. Is it broken like this? Isn't it made of iron? Is it so easy to break? He did not come back to his senses for a while. Chapter 896. Wang Yao didn't walk far before he saw the beautiful woman he had just seen. At this time, she was in the arms of a young man and was sobbing in a low voice. She was so beautiful and pitiful. It's okay. It's okay. The man comforted the woman softly. Fortunately, the young man didn't see it. Otherwise, he would have hit her with his car, Wang Yao thought. A gift for you. The woman suddenly smiled through her tears. What gift? This is their family's ancestral formula. The woman took out a piece of paper. Really? You got it. The young man was excited. What's the situation? Wang Yao stopped. There's a story behind it. He couldn't help but look back. If the man who just used a knife for this woman knew about this, he would probably kill her and then commit suicide. It was really annoying to be affectionate. It was sad, lamentable, and pitiful. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew away the piece of paper in the man's hand. Oh no! The man hurriedly let go of the woman in his arms and chased after it. However, he saw the piece of paper go up and down in the wind. It drew circles and turned corners. Finally, it fell into the sea. A wave hit, and then it disappeared. No, no, no. The man hit the railing on the shore with annoyance. It's okay, dear. I'll get another one for you. The beautiful woman persuaded. No, I can't let you go back. I love you. The man held the woman in his arms. For you, I'm willing. Oh God. Wang Yao felt goosebumps all over his body. Why did it sound so scary? The woman really loved the man, but the man's eyes didn't look like that. He was very scheming. He probably wanted to use the woman. I really can't stand it anymore. It's not worth it to make things difficult for a man with a knife. In the beginning, Wang Yao didn't like the man with the knife. He felt that the woman did the right thing. However, in less than 10 minutes, there was a big reversal. He now felt that the man was pitiful. What a scheming woman. TSK, TSK, TSK. He turned around to take a look and was stunned. At the corner of the road, he saw the man from before. The other party was looking in his direction. Although they were quite far apart and ordinary people might not be able to see clearly, he was different. He was certain that it was the man from before. What was going on? Even a movie wouldn't have such a complicated plot, right? It was rare for a man to love a woman and a woman to love another man. The other man might not really love the woman who loved him, but he just wanted to use the woman to cheat the man who liked the woman of the formula. Wasn't it a little confusing? Aya, we've seen the scenery tonight. Hopefully, no tragedy will happen. Wang Yao smiled and slowly left. The night was getting darker. The wind at the seaside was very strong, and the waves in the sea were very fast. The next morning, the sky was a little gloomy. Wang Yao returned to Lianshan County by car. Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company's wild licorice was also in place. Everything was in place, and the conditions for production were ready. Chief Zheng, is today the start of production? Wait, Zheng Weijun said. He needed to inform Wang Yao about this matter, but he knew that he had gone to Jing. I don't know when he'll be back. He sent a text message to the other party. Well, he'll be back today. That's great, he said happily. At around 11 a.m., Wang Yao went directly to Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company. He didn't even go home. After he got out of the car, he went straight there. After confirming that all the herbs were fine, he began to put in the materials to test the production of primordial spirit soup. The process was very fast because it was all the most advanced pharmaceutical equipment. It was estimated that the product could be produced that day, but the quality of the product depended on the situation. It's time for lunch. Why don't we have lunch together? Sure. Wang Yao stayed to have lunch with Zheng Weijun. The two of them communicated about the following production and sales. Zheng Weijun mainly talked while Wang Yao listened. When it came to company management and sales, Wang Yao was a layman. In the afternoon, he returned to the mountain village. When he left, he didn't take many things. When he came back, he had a big suitcase. It was all gifts that Su Xiaoxue had bought for his parents, sister, and brother-in-law. Why did you buy so many things again? Zhang Xiaoying asked. It's a token of appreciation from your daughter-in-law. Token of appreciation? Listen to me, Zhang Xiaoying said. In the future, you pay when Xiaoxue buys things. Do you hear me? Yes, I'll remember. Wang Yao hurriedly nodded. Why do you always let a girl spend money? You don't lack money. I want to, Mom, Wang Yao said with a smile. He wanted to pay, but Su Xiaoxue didn't let him. That's enough. Don't do it again. I know, Mom. Have you eaten at noon? Yes, I ate in town. He went into the house and chatted with his parents for a while. He expressed Su Xiaoxue's parents' greetings to his parents. Then, Wang Yao left home and went to the clinic. After entering the clinic, he updated the news on Weibo. The clinic would receive patients in the afternoon. Not long after, Jia Zizai came. He happened to be looking at his phone. When he saw Wang Yao's update on Weibo, he came over. Sir, you're back. Yes, I just came back. Did anything happen in the past 2 days? No, Sir, you gave us a medicine not just to make us immune to all kinds of poisons, right? Well, why do you suddenly ask this? I did change the prescription of these medicines. They can make you more energetic and may give you another ability, Wang Yao said. Another ability? What kind of ability? Snakes, insects, rats, and ants don't dare to get close to you, Wang Yao said. This was the effect of the plow grass. Is it so magical? Haha. You'll know after a while, Wang Yao said with a smile. The effect of the plow grass was quite strong. Even if it was neutralized by Gui Yuan, there shouldn't be any big problems. Wang Yao didn't add too much. In his opinion, safety was the most important thing. It was not to save the life of a patient in danger. There was no need to rush. He could take it slowly. Oh, okay, Jia Zizai said. This was the first time he learned that the medicine had such an effect in addition to curing diseases, saving lives, and killing people. He didn't stay for long because a patient came in. The couple brought their son, the little boy named Xiaolon. Hello, Dr. Wang. After 3 treatments, their son's condition had been greatly improved. So far, he had fainted at most once a day, and the time was very short. He would soon wake up. This was a sign that he was about to recover. He's a lot more energetic. Wang Yao smiled. The little boy's eyes were very energetic, which showed that his body was in a very good state. Yes, Xiaolon has been eating a lot these days, the woman said. He's sleeping well and jumping around happily. Because her son's health was much better, they took him to the amusement park in the small counter play. In the past, they didn't dare to do so. They were afraid that he would suddenly faint and have an accident while playing in the amusement park. The little boy had a lot of fun in the amusement park. After all, he was a child. Now is the time to have fun. Well, okay, let's start the treatment. He inserted the needle, transferred the qi, and gave the medicine. It was the same familiar set of steps. Come back in 2 days, Wang Yao said. Thank you. The husband and wife left happily. Not long after, Zhong Luchuan came to the clinic. His master had returned, so he naturally had to come to visit. The two of them chatted for a while. No patient came. Zhong Luchuan looked at the time and got up to leave. Near evening, a man came. He was in a hurry and walked with a limp. What's wrong, uncle? The man was from the village. Hey, I accidentally fell while riding my bike. Can you take a look at me? Okay. Wang Yao quickly checked him. There were no major problems. There were a few contusions. In addition, one of his arms was dislocated. Chapter 897. Bear with it. Crack. Ouch. The man screamed in pain. Bear with it. The pain will only last for a while, Wang Yao said. After the man's arm was reset, Wang Yao massaged the area around the dislocated joint with a special technique. He pushed the force through the blood flow to promote the unobstructed blood flow and prevent blood stasis, swelling, and pain. Then he simply bandaged the dislocated joint and fixed it. After that, he treated the wounds on the man's body. There were no major problems. His arm and thigh were a little bruised. He just needed to apply some medicine for external injuries. Uncle, you have to ride slower in the future, Wang Yao said. Don't mention it. Actually, the speed of my bike wasn't that fast. When I reached the lower village, a figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere and gave me a fright. I hurriedly turned the corner and crashed into a rock. It's a pity that I just bought an electric scooter. I haven't even ridden it for 2 months, said the middle-aged man. It's fine as long as you didn't hurt yourself. You can still ride the scooter after repairing it. Wang Yao smiled and comforted him. Hey Yao, don't you think it's strange? The man asked. Before I fell, I clearly saw a figure running past me. When I got up, I didn't see anyone around me. Did you see wrongly? Well, I'm thinking about it. Maybe I've been working overtime for a long time, and I'm too tired. In addition, it's dark, and I can't see clearly. Maybe I'm mistaken, the middle-aged man said. At this time, the sky outside was actually completely dark. Are you done? Uncle, you are fine. Go back and have a good rest, especially the dislocated arm. You won't be able to move it for at least half a month, Wang Yao said. He had used a special technique to treat the dislocated arm. Otherwise, it would take even longer. It will take so long, the man said. He didn't have to do any work for the next half a month. In addition, The broken scooter cost him a few thousand yuan. The time is short enough. Don't take any chances. If you're not careful, you might get dislocated again and cause sequelae. It'll be troublesome then. In fact, there was such a possibility. If a certain joint in a human body was dislocated multiple times, it might cause the joint to relapse easily. Oh, I see. How much is it? The man was a little annoyed, but now that the matter had already happened, there was no point in being angry. He had to recuperate well. As for work, let's put it aside for a while and drag it out for another 10 or so days. We're from the same village. Forget it. Wang Yao waved his hand. It was just some ordinary medicine used to treat bruises. It wasn't worth much. This middle-aged man was also a warm-hearted person. Last time when a mountain was on fire, he had also helped. Wang Yao remembered this in his heart. All right, thank you. The man stood up and was about to leave. Wang Yao suddenly found that the man's breath was not quite right. So he stopped him and said, "Well, uncle, wait a minute." When he came in just now, he felt a cold breath. He thought it was because he had just come in from outside. It was cold outside, so he brought in the cold air. At this time, he felt that it was not the case. There was a sense of coldness in the breath. "Uncle, let me check for you again," Wang Yao said with a smile. "What's wrong?" The middle-aged man was stunned. "Nothing. I just want to confirm it again," Wang Yao said. As he spoke, he slightly closed his hands. Immediately, he released his inner breath, and the warm breath wrapped around the middle-aged man. Almost in an instant, the cold breath in his body was melted away. The man moved his body for a while. "Yeah, what did you do to me just now?" "Nothing. I just want to confirm it again." "What's wrong, uncle?" "Oh, nothing. I just felt that just now, my body suddenly became a little warmer and more comfortable," the middle-aged man said. In a very short period of time, he felt that there was a warm heat wrapped around him. It went through his clothes and then into his body. It was very comfortable. The feeling was as comfortable as the last time he went to the resort in Lijiago to soak in the hot spring. That may be because you stayed in this house. Your qi and blood have recovered, so your body will naturally warm up, Wang Yao said. "All right, it's all right. Take care on the road." "Ah, okay. Thank you," the man said. He carefully sensed that the comfortable feeling from before had disappeared. However, he felt much better than before. He didn't feel as cold and sleepy as before. "By the way, uncle, the place where you had the accident was at the intersection of the village, right? There's a graveyard on the hillside diagonally opposite, right?" Wang Yao said. "Yes, that's the place," the middle-aged man said. "Accidents always happen at that place. The people at the village have specially asked a feng shui master to look at it. They said that it is related to the graveyard on the hillside. The graveyard faces the intersection. There are many strange things, so a stone tower is built next to the intersection." "Ah, Yao, do you think I was possessed?" The middle-aged man suddenly came to his senses. Originally, he hadn't thought about it, but after hearing Wang Yao's words, he started to think about it. What he had encountered at the intersection was indeed quite strange. The black shadow flashed by, and when he looked again, it was gone. When he thought that it was those unclean things, he felt scared and cold all over. "You think too much, uncle," Wang Yao said. "I said that you might be too tired from work and be distracted. You have to be careful when you ride in the future." It was dark, and it was an intersection. The lights were not very bright. "Ah, okay, I'm leaving." The middle-aged man nodded and left the clinic. Wang Yao sent the elder out of the door. He turned around and locked the door of the clinic. He walked home. Could it be that he had bumped into something unclean at that location? Previously, Wang Yao was a firm atheist. Since he went to the county in the south and entered the ancient tomb with the Taoist masters from Longhu Mountain, many of his previous ideas were completely overturned. Since that kind of thing existed, what did it matter if he bumped into something unclean and evil? He returned home for dinner, but he didn't talk about it for now. The middle-aged man who had just gone to the clinic returned home covered in injuries. His wife was shocked. His clothes were torn, and there were some scratches on his face. There was blood in some places. "What happened?" "Don't mention it," the middle-aged man said. "I bumped into a stone at the intersection of the village." "Did you hurt yourself? Do you need to go to the hospital?" The woman asked with concern. In this family, there were old and young people to take care of. She did not have a job. She was just picking up a few acres of land at home. This man was the pillar of the family. Nothing could happen to him. I'm fine. I went to Yao's clinic. My arm was dislocated. He fixed it. Other than that, it's just a superficial injury. He also applied medicine. He said that it would be fine after 2 days of rest. That's good. Hearing that he was fine, the woman was slightly relieved. Don't you need to go to the hospital? The woman asked. No, it's not like you don't know Yao's standard, the man said. Many people who couldn't be cured in the hospital were cured by him. Well, change your clothes first. Let's eat, the woman said. Ah, wife, I was thinking that I might have bumped into something unclean. The man was not in a hurry to go into the house to change his clothes. Instead, he said this. Unclean things. The woman stopped and turned to look at her husband. Then, the man told her in detail what had happened at the intersection of the village. The woman's face changed after hearing it. Could it be that he had bumped into something evil? People said that the intersection was a bit evil. Isn't there a graveyard on the hillside, not far away? Ah, I think today's incident is a bit evil too. Well, you change your clothes first. I'll go find Aunt Zhang and ask her to come over and take a look, the woman said. Okay. The woman went out. Not long after, she came home with a woman in her 60s. She was not tall. Her hair was gray, but she looked hale and hearty. She also walked with strength. In this area, almost every village had 1 or 2 people who knew how to invite immortals or red fortunes. Some people who were scared or bumped into something unclean would ask them to help deal with it. Aunt, can you take a look? Okay. The old woman nodded and then found a bowl of water and a stick of incense. She then set the incense aside for a while. After a while, the woman said, Well, I bumped into something unclean. Yes, it's at the intersection of the village, the old woman said. Hey, the couple looked at each other. When the wife went to invite the immortal, she only said that something had happened to her husband. She did not say where it had happened. They did not expect the immortal to be able to say it all at once. She was quite capable. Aunt, can you take a look and tell me what to do? This immortal has to be asked to leave, the old woman said. Aunt, how do you pick it up? Can you tell me? I don't know how to do it, the wife said. Okay. The elderly woman then explained to her in detail what she needed to buy and how to deal with it. She was very detailed. Tonight. It's definitely too late tonight. You prepare tomorrow. I'll come to help you tomorrow night, the old woman said. Oh, okay. Thank you, Aunt. The woman thanked the old woman and sent her back. He really bumped into something unclean, the man frowned. How could it be fake? His wife said. It's not the first time Aunt Zhang has done these things. How could she be wrong? Anyway, just do as she said tomorrow. I'll go and prepare the things tomorrow morning. Okay, the man said. Now that he thought about Wang Yao's last question, he asked, could it be that he also saw through it? What were you mumbling about? His wife asked. Ah, nothing, the man said. Chapter 898. Go wash your hands and have dinner. Be careful not to touch the wound again, the woman said. I know. I'm fine. The middle-aged man came back after washing his hands. His wife had already prepared dinner in Wang Yao's house in the southeast part of the mountain village. After dinner, Wang Yao went out early. He didn't go up Nanshan Hill. Instead, he walked north. He left the mountain village and walked west along the road. It didn't take long for him to reach the intersection of Shazhuang, where the middle-aged man had an accident. Standing at the intersection and looking northwest, he could see a hillside. There were pine and cypress trees of different heights on the hillside. He could also see some tombs in the shape of steam buns. There was indeed a stone tower at the bottom of the hillside. It was 5 meters high and had 7 floors. It was carved out of stone. It was just beside the road. This is the place. Wang Yao could see some fragments of the electric car on the ground. He walked around the area, but didn't see anything. Should I go up and have a look? He raised his head and glanced at the hillside. The mound stood there quietly, and in the dark night, the tombstone looked a little eerie. Let's go. Wang Yao took a step and disappeared. The next moment, he was standing on the hillside. He could see at least a dozen tombs of different sizes. They were old and new. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew. It felt gloomy and cold. Yes, it was gloomy and cold. The chi here was completely different from the row below. It was messy and cold. Standing there and looking down, the street lights at the intersection were dim. Whoosh! Whoosh! A motorcycle passed by. There didn't seem to be anything unusual. It should be something that happens under special circumstances, Wang Yao thought. Let's go. Wang Yao's figure flashed and then came to the foot of the hill. At this time, a person happened to pass by on a motorcycle. The motorcycle screeched and stopped. Damn! He was startled by the sudden appearance of Wang Yao. Are you a human or a ghost? Of course, I'm a human, Wang Yao said with a smile. A human? Just a moment ago, there was clearly nothing here. Suddenly, it appeared. Taking a closer look, those eyes, that nose, that appearance. Hey, why does it all look so familiar? Hey, aren't you Dr. Wang? The man asked. It's me. This person knew Wang Yao because he had once asked him to treat his family's illness. Dr. Wang, what are you doing here? Ah, I came out for a walk after dinner, Wang Yao said with a smile. Oh, you scared me just now. I didn't bump into you, did I? No. That's good, that's good. I'll leave first. Take care. The man left on his motorcycle. Wang Yao looked back. In the dark night, the mountain was quite quiet. The stone pagoda stood there. Let's go. Wang Yao turned back to the village and went up Nanshan Hill. Early the next morning, the sky was gloomy. The sun hid behind the clouds and refused to show itself. After going down the mountain, Wang Yao went to Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company. The first decoction should be ready that day. He wanted to see how effective it was. At about 11 a.m., the first batch of primordial spirit soup was made. It was directly bottled. Sir, what do you think? Zheng Weijun handed the first batch of decoction to Wang Yao said. He took the decoction, opened the bottle, took a sip and tasted it. Well, it's good. After all, it was a large-scale production. The control of the fire was always poor. The machine automatically adjusted according to the parameters and memory set. Even so, the decoction brewed in this way had nearly 80% of the efficacy of the decoction brewed by Wang Yao using the multifunctional pot for herbs. This was already very good. It could be mass-produced. Good, good. Zheng Weijun was very happy after hearing that. It was a success on the first try. This was good news. It was a good start. In fact, the brewing of this kind of medicine was not particularly troublesome. He had invited a lot of veterans who were originally working for him in his family business. They were all very skilled in the field of medicine making. They knew which areas needed attention and which areas needed to be followed in time. Sir, don't go back at noon. Stay for lunch and celebrate. Sure, Wang Yao said. After all, it was something worth celebrating. At noon, Zheng Weijun booked the best hotel in town to celebrate the start of the project. Many people came to the pharmaceutical factory. They were all very happy and drank a lot. Wang Yao also drank a little. When he returned to the mountain village in the afternoon, he specially brought a box of decoctions. From that day on, he was going to be the first medical center to sell decoctions produced by his factory. Thousands of miles away in He County, Guozhenghe had been thinking about one thing for the past few days. It was the news he heard from Su Xinyuan. The secret in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, which he did not know before, could make people immune to all kinds of diseases and live a healthy and long life. It was quite attractive to anyone, especially people like him. Was money important? It was important to many people, but it was not so important to them. They were more interested in power. Once they had power, they naturally wanted to hold power for a long time. In addition to working hard to curry favor, one thing was very important. That was, their health had to be good. Many officials had ruined their health for various reasons. The result was very tragic. They always had power in their hands and could enjoy some special treatment. However, if their health was gone, what was the point of those things? The key was that they could live a long life. Living for 70 years and living for 120 years were two completely different concepts. Because this matter was particularly important to him, he immediately asked Su Xinyuan to confirm the reliability of the news after hearing it. If it was true, then he had to find a way to get the secret formula. Just now, He received a call from Su Xinyuan, who asked to meet him. It was at the place where they had met. How was it? Young master, I've been asking around about this matter for the past few days, Su Xinyuan said. Because the village was isolated and had almost no contact or communication with the outside world, very few people outside knew about them. However, he still found out some information. What Miao Shina told me is most likely true, Su Xinyuan said. Their patriarch is almost 80 years old, but he looks like he's only 40 years old. He's also very healthy, even healthier than ordinary young people. That's right. It's been a lot of effort to find out the news. There's also a rumor that the oldest person in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine is nearly 240 years old. How old is that? Guo Zhenghe could not help but ask. Nearly 200 years old. How is that possible? These words were hard to believe. How could there be anyone in this world who could live for such a long time? Let's not talk about this for now, but one thing is certain, Su Xinyuan said. There are many centenarians in their village. I have an idea. Chapter 899. What is it? I have checked the census, Su Xinyuan said. The last census of the Valley of Thousands of Medicine was 15 years ago. Since then, for some reason, no census has been conducted on the stockade in the past 15 years. It was as if the stockade had really disappeared. It was not until the recent incidents that it was brought back into people's view. The census is a nemesis, Guo Zheng has said, but it is not managed by our county. In this case, we have to find a way from the province. Young master, you can inquire about it. Recently, the province has been promoting rural medical reform, Su Xinyuan said. They require medical teams to be sent to towns and villages, especially remote mountain areas, to provide free medical services and establish personal medical records. This is also a very rare opportunity. Well, this is an opportunity, Guo Zheng has said. At the very least, he can know how many people were in the village and how old they were. By comparing it with the last census, he could get some useful information. However, there are also difficulties. This was southern Yunnan. His family did not have much influence there because it was located in a corner and had limited influence. Well, I will think about it first, Guo Zheng has said. You continue to pay attention to their news. You must ensure your own safety. Okay, Uncle Su, you have worked hard during this time, Guo Zhenghe sincerely said. Through the contact and interaction during this time, he found that Su Xinyuan in front of him was really a rare talent. He was smart and resourceful. He was not the kind of boorish man who only knew how to fight. For him, who was almost fighting alone, this was a great help. It came at the right time. You are too polite, Su Xinyuan hurriedly said. In fact, people like them were equivalent to the hangers-on of those rich families in the past. They spent money to support them, so they had to help at the critical moment. If there is nothing else, I will leave first, young master. Well, you go to your work first. Feel free to call me if you need anything. Okay. After Su Xinyuan left, Guo Zhenghe stayed for a while and drank 2 cups of tea. During this time, he was still thinking about the matter. 200 years old. How is that possible? Guo Zhenghe was skeptical that anyone could live to this age. Looking at the time, he left the tea house and returned to his office. Then, he called his father and briefly told him the whole thing. I see, Secretary Guo replied with 3 simple words on the other end of the phone. Be careful over there. A gentleman doesn't stand under a dangerous wall. Oh, I know, Dad. Take care of yourself, too. All right, I'm hanging up. I still have a meeting to prepare for. All right. The conversation between the father and son was very brief. It was enough to make things clear. You're still the same. Guo Zhenghe smiled. His father was dignified, but he cared for him. It was just that the way he cared for him was a little different. Now, the first thing to determine is how magical the secret formula in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine is. If it can really make people live to 200 years old, then I have to get it at all costs. Guo Zhenghe's eyes flashed a trace of gloominess and fierceness. Since ancient times, from the emperor to the common people, almost everyone dreamed of living a long life. They yearned for immortality, especially those emperors who already had great power in their hands and ruled the world. The next step was to think about how to rule the world for generations to come. It would be best if they could stay in power forever. The prerequisite for all of this was to have a healthy body. That was why Qin Shi Huang sent Su Fu to the east to search for the elixir of immortality. In this aspect, not only Qin Shi Huang, almost all of the emperors had done this before, but he was the most famous one. Immortality. Guo Jinghe also sighed. How many people would not be tempted? In the provincial capital of southern Yunnan. What? Still going? Yang Guanfeng felt a headache coming on. You don't have to scratch your head, a half-bald, middle-aged man above him said. The higher-ups specifically named you. No, boss, why? Don't you know how big a matter it is? A total of 19 people have died. What if it continues? Ask the ministry to send someone? Them? Oh, what's with your expression? Do you think they might not be better than you? That's not what I mean. All right, hurry up and set off, Yang Guanfeng said. Let Lu go with you this time. You two are old partners. Is he back? He just came back. All right, let's go again, Yang Guanfeng said. In fact, he did not have any good feelings about the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. He felt the same way when he went there last time. The two of them were poisoned and almost died for no reason. Moreover, Miaoxi River, who supported them on the surface, must have been quite disgusted with them. He did not even need to think about it. In a place cut off from the rest of the world, he was like a local tyrant. When had anyone ever dared to point fingers in front of him, let alone an outsider? Although he had left that place and He County during this time, he had not been idle. His main energy had been focused on investigating the case. He had been investigating the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. However, there was too little information about that place. Even the most recent census was more than a decade ago. All the information about them came from inquiring about them. He had gone to several villages near the Valley of Thousands of Medicine to inquire about it, but most of the people there were secretive about that place. However, his hard work paid off. He had learned some useful information from a few old people who were about to die. They already knew that the people there were proficient in medicine and poison. It was a place that had been passed down for generations. The Valley of Thousands of Medicine was like the Medicine King Valley in martial arts novels. The chief, there was usually the person with the best medical skills. That was to say, Miaoxi River, whom he had met a few times, was from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. He was actually a person with extraordinary medical skills. According to the information he knew, the people in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine could treat most difficult and complicated diseases, even some terminal diseases. Of course, the premise was that they were willing to treat you. Miaoxi River's medical skills were the best in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Similarly, his ability to use poison was also the strongest. For such a person to be willing to hide in such a small stockade, he was either a true hermit or had a big plan. No matter how one looked at him, he did not look like a true hermit. I really don't want to go. Yang Guanfeng sighed. Why don't you want to go? A man in his 30s entered his office from the outside. He looked a little slovenly and had a cigarette in his mouth. When did you come back? You've been back for a week. You don't want to go to the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, do you? Well, I really don't want to go. I heard that the scenery there is good, the man said. Are there any beautiful girls? I really don't want to talk to you. You keep talking about girls. Yang Guanfeng slapped his forehead. We drove for several hours, and our bones were about to fall apart. It felt weird to go there. Where are the girls? He asked seriously. Well, I was investigating a case, so I didn't pay attention. What? My God, you didn't even see if the girls were beautiful or not. Don't you think your mission was a failure? Lu Xiaofeng, put away your tricks, Yang Guanfeng said. If you really like girls, why aren't you married now? There's so many flowers. How can I only pick one? Come on, you still can't get over it, can you? Yang Guanfeng lit a cigarette. I really don't want to talk to you. Lu Xiaofeng sighed. You have no sense of humor, and you always poke at people's sore spots. Did you ask for it? Well, to be honest, I also want to have a look. Lu Xiaofeng narrowed his eyes. After all, we are all surnamed Miao. In a mountain village thousands of miles away, in the clinic, why do you have time to come here? How is the sales of the medicine? Wang Yao asked with a smile. Since it has been produced, and Sir said that the effect is good, the sales should not be a problem. Zheng Weijun said with a smile. It just depends on the time. The first medicine had been successfully produced. It was a good start. As he had just said, the sales were not particularly worrying. After all, it was a prescription provided by Wang Yao. In this regard, he had absolute trust. Sir, think about it. What kind of medicine should be produced next? This was the real purpose of Zheng Weijun's visit. A pharmaceutical factory, especially one with such a huge investment, would definitely produce more than just one type of medicine. Let me think about it, Wang Yao said. He already had 2 prescriptions in mind. He was just thinking about which one to use. One was to clear the heat and relieve pain, and the other was to clear the blood vessels and remove blood stasis. They were both decoctions. Oh, okay. Zheng Weijun nodded. After chatting for a while, he said goodbye and left. Next, he had more important work to do, and that was to use his connections to quickly promote this medicine. No rush, Wang Yao whispered. At Jia Zizai's home, hey, honey, look, Jia Zizai said. The medicine Sir gave us is working. What are you doing? Where did the mouse come from? After entering the room, Humei found her husband staring at a cage on the table. There was a small mouse in the cage. I caught it. It took a lot of effort. You went out today to catch this? Humei asked. You didn't get bitten, did you? No, it's fine even if I got bitten. Didn't Sir say that we are immune to poison now? This mouse can spread the plague. It shouldn't be poison, right? Aren't you talking nonsense? Humei rolled her eyes at him. Mice are afraid of people. I'm standing here, and it's afraid of me. No, it's not the same. Look at its eyes, its reaction, and its expression. Jia Zizai pointed at the little mouse. Eyes, reaction. What expression does the mouse have? Hey, mammals have expressions, Jia Zizai said. I heard the experts talk about it when I watched Man in Nature. Come, squat down and take a look. Take a closer look. Hearing what he said, Humei approached and squatted down to take a closer look. Needless to say, the little mouse kept scurrying back and forth in the cage. It was obviously trying to escape. She could see a little bit of panic on its face. Chapter 900. You don't say. I can see it a little bit, Humei said. Right? It felt like it had seen a cat. People say that rats are actually very smart. It's probably because you scared it when you caught it, and it already has a scary impression of you. That's why it was so scared when it saw you again, Humei said. Really? It must be. Well, I'll leave. You stay here and see if it's still very scared. After he finished speaking, Jia Zizai got up and walked away. Humei was still there. The little mouse in the cage was still scurrying back and forth. It kept biting the iron cage with its teeth, trying to bite through the steel wire. It was obviously still very panicked, and it was even a little panicked. Is it really scared? Step back and see how it reacts, Jia Zizai whispered behind her. Humei heard this and took a few steps back. When she was outside the door, she looked at the mouse. Then, something magical happened. The mouse actually calmed down a lot. It was no longer as manic as before. Although it still moved in the cage, it was a normal activity. It wasn't as crazy as before. It's really? Humei was surprised. Sir, what's in the medicine that you gave us? Mice are scared. Hey, snakes should be hibernating at this time, right? Jia Zizai said. His eyes were rolling. No one knew what he was thinking. You'd better be quiet. I'm fine. I'm just saying it casually. You don't have to be so worried. Just smile. In response, Humei rolled her eyes. Honey, I find that you're getting more and more beautiful. Your skin is getting more and more tender, Jia Zizai said. Well, I found that too, Humei said. This was not a compliment from Jia Zizai. Her body was indeed changing. It was a kind of reverse growth. Her whole person was energetic. She felt younger. It was reflected in her appearance. Her skin was getting better. The wrinkles on her face that used to be covered by makeup had disappeared. The hidden white hair on her head had become black. This was a change that had happened after she came to the mountain village. No one disliked being young, especially when it happened to her. The change in mentality was one reason. The more important reason was that she had followed Wang Yao to practice. It was a wise decision to come here. Jia Zizai exclaimed. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. Who is it? It's me, Senior. Zhong Luchuan came in from outside. What's the matter? Ah, are you free tonight? Yes, I'm free, Jia Zizai said. I want to invite you to my house, Zhong Luchuan said. During this time, he had always accepted Jia Zizai's request to come to his house as a guest, but he had never invited the couple even once. He had this idea for a long time. It happened to be the weekend, and Zhong Anxin had returned. They could get together. Good. Jia Zizai clapped her hands. I'll prepare 2 bottles of good wine. I'll help cook, Humei said. No, you're guests. My cooking skills are not bad, Zhong Luchuan said. In order to take care of his sister, Zhong Luchuan had actually developed good cooking skills. Well, it's settled then. I'll invite Dr. Wang. Zhong Luchuan went to the clinic. He happened to have nothing to do. Tonight? Okay, Wang Yao said. The matter was settled. Zhong Luchuan went home to prepare. Soon it was evening. Wang Yao brought a bottle of good wine and roast duck from Jing. As a wine lover, Jia Zizai could see at a glance that the bottle of wine Wang Yao brought was extraordinary. Hey, the bottle of wine you brought is good. There is still a lot of wine at home, Wang Yao said. I don't drink. My father has been drinking less recently. If you want to drink, you can go and get it at any time. How can that be? Jia Zizai said. In fact, since he began to practice, the amount of wine he drank had been decreasing. When he liked something, another hobby slowly faded. Practice was addictive. After not seeing her for a while, Zhong Anxin had grown a little taller. The girl had also become a lot more beautiful. As the saying went, a girl changes 18 times between childhood and womanhood. She was very sensible. She took the initiative to help her brother cook and serve the dishes. When the dishes were cleaned, she went straight to her room to do her homework after eating. You have a good sister, Jia Zizai said. Yes. The 4 of them ate, drank, and chatted until 9 o'clock in the evening before they left. Wang Yao went home and then went to Nanshan Hill. Thank you, brother. You're welcome, Zhong Luchuan said. It's okay. Come to my house tomorrow. Zhong Luchuan smiled, but did not promise. Jia Zizai drank a lot. He burped and left with his wife in his arms. Keep your hands still, Zhong Luchuan said. Where are you putting them? Anxin is still watching. Ah, Jia Zizai immediately stopped and looked back. Sure enough, Anxin and her brother were standing at the door to see them off. By Anxin, Zhong Luchuan said. Goodbye, brother, sister-in-law, Anxin said. TSKSK, our sister, Zhong Luchuan said. Wife, let's have a girl first, Zhong Luchuan said. Up to you. Ha! The crescent moon was curved, shining on Jiuzhou. It was late at night and quiet. On Nanshan Hill, there was the sound of chanting again. It didn't stop until 11 p.m. The next morning, small snowflakes floated in the sky. It was snowing. However, it was not particularly cold. On Dongshan Hill, 3 people were meditating. Hiss! Phew! Wang Yao stood high and looked at the sky. After the 3 people finished their meditation, he called them together. Today, I'll teach you something, Wang Yao said with a smile. He taught them a set of footwork, which was also from the ancient boxing scripture. It was called stepping on swallow. After mastering it, one's speed was extremely fast and flexible in a small area. It was just that the footwork was a little more complicated. Wang Yao first explained the most basic footwork standards to them. The 3 people had learned Kung Fu and had a considerable foundation, so it was not particularly difficult for them to get started. This Kung Fu was relatively easy to learn, but difficult to master. It required constant practice. Well, let's call it a day. The 4 of them went down the mountain together. Wang Yao's clinic was open as usual. Thousands of miles away, in a certain city in Jiangnan, Zheng Weijun had an appointment with a man in his 40s. He wore glasses and took good care of himself. This man controlled the largest pharmaceutical sales channel in the province. After the new medicine was produced, the next step was to sell it. Therefore, he came there and brought some samples with him. New medicine. The middle-aged man looked at the primordial spirit soup in front of him. Yes. Nanshan Pharmaceutical, the company you opened? Yes. Is it worth it to give up all the power in your hands and start all over again? It's worth it, and I've fought enough. There's nothing wrong with starting all over again. Since you found me, I'll definitely help you. the middle-aged man said. Friendship is friendship. Business is business. In business, you have to follow the rules. Do you understand my rules? Yes, Zheng Weijun said. That's good. Put down the samples and give me this amount. Okay. The first batch of medicine was sold, but he did not dare to relax. In the afternoon, he went to another place. At the same time, in a mountain village thousands of miles away, Wang Yao also sold the first bottle of primordial spirit soup. Nanshan Pharmaceutical? This is produced by the pharmaceutical factory in town, right? The patient asked. My family lives near the factory. Yes. Dr. Wang, this medicine? Don't worry, there's no problem. If there's a problem, you can come to me, Wang Yao said. The old man's problem was physical weakness. The medicine was just right for the disease. That's not what I meant, he hurriedly said. Thank you. Take care. The medicine was produced in batches using wild herbs. It was only a little more than $30. It was not expensive. Wang Yao was basically selling it at cost price. In the afternoon, Wang Ziqing brought Wang Yilong to the clinic. Why are you free today? It's the weekend, Wang Ziqing said. It's rare to have a day off. Oh, come and sit. Wang Yao checked Wang Yilong. The old man looked very good and was in good condition. Chapter 901. His entire person was cheerful and his attitude was very good. It was completely different from the frowning and distressed look he had when he came a few months ago. Come, Yao, this is a stupid chicken I just killed today. It's delicious even if you fry it or stew it. The old man brought something with him. It was a plastic bag containing the chicken he had just killed today. It was raised at home and didn't eat any feed. It was only fed with beans, corn, and other things. It was absolutely natural. No need, uncle, Wang Yao hurriedly said. He also raised chickens at home. The hens laid eggs, and the roosters were raised to eat. I've already picked it up. Take it if I ask you to, Wang Yilong said with a smile. In the end, Wang Yao couldn't refuse and had to take it. He then went to see the old man. Very good. You are recovering very well, Wang Yao said with a smile. The old man's recovery speed was faster than he thought. This was probably because of his mentality. With a good mentality, coupled with the effect of medicine, he could achieve twice the result with half the effort. Some people could still survive for several years, or even more than 10 years when they were in the terminal stage of a terminal illness. However, some people could not hold on for more than a few months once they found out about this illness. This was the mentality. When mentality collapsed, he scared himself to death. I also think it's getting better and better. I've been in Nanshan Hill twice these days. You can't go Shishan Hill, uncle. Wang Yao did not forget to remind him. Don't worry about this, I know. I'm not going to Shishan Hill, but Dongshan Hill. It's winter. The weather is getting colder and colder. Are the herbs okay? Do you need to cover them with mulch or something? No, Wang Yao said with a smile and waved his hand. It's fine. Although it was cold, the herbs themselves grew in nature. They could resist the cold. Moreover, Dongshan Hill had been affected by the climate of Nanshan Hill. It was not so cold. The spirit-gathering battle array set up by Wang Yao now affected not only Nanshan Hill, but also the nearby areas. It was slowly spreading around. Continue to take the medicine. According to the current situation, Wang Yao estimated that in less than a month and a half, all the diseases in his body would disappear and he would be able to recover. Yes, the old man said with a smile. Well, are you free today? Wang Ziqing, who had not spoken, asked. My sister might come back today, Wang Yao said. Oh, another day then. Wang Yao had taken such good care of his family, but he had never expressed it. He just wanted to invite Wang Yao to his house for a meal. You went to work in a pharmaceutical factory? Yes, he did, Wang Ziqing said. Because of Wang Yao's words, he was assigned to a very good position. The work was heavy and could be said to be very relaxed, but the salary was not reduced. It was much better than working overtime in his previous workplace. The key was that he had to work regularly, and there were weekends and holidays. He was very satisfied and grateful to Wang Yao in his heart. Are you satisfied? Satisfied, very satisfied, Wang Ziqing said. That's good. Wang Yao smiled. The father and son stayed there for a while before leaving. The main reason was that Wang Yilong, the elder, was particularly talkative today. Because there were no patients, Wang Yao accompanied him to chat. The two of them talked about all kinds of things. Wang Ziqing stayed aside and did not interrupt much. "Dad, are you very happy today?" After leaving the clinic, Wang Ziqing asked with a smile. He could feel that his father was very happy today. He had a smile on his face since he got up in the morning. "Yes," the old man said with a smile. "Do you want to drink 2 cups at noon?" "Well, didn't I tell you not to drink?" "Drink, but don't drink too much." Wang Yao's words came out of the clinic. The father and son had not gone far, so he heard the conversation between them clearly. "No way you can hear that." Wang Ziqing looked behind him in surprise. Well, let him hear it." The old man waved his hand with a smile. "He said that I could drink 2 cups, so I'll drink 2 cups. "It's not twice," Wang Ziqing said. He only said to drink a little. He thought so in his heart, but he did not say it because the old man was very happy. He was also very happy. Recently, he had seen Wang Yao. Wang Yao told him that his father's illness was about to be cured. When he first heard the news, he could not believe his ears. What kind of disease was it? It was a terminal disease. Many big hospitals could not treat it. They could only watch people slowly lose weight, be tortured by the disease, and finally die. However, the young man who was younger than him had cured it. He had really cured it. If this news spread out, how big a shock would it cause? Now that I think about it, fortunately, we did not buy a house. The old man suddenly said. Well, yes. Originally, they wanted to sell all their houses and move to the county, but the old man insisted on keeping this house. At that time, in his opinion, it was better to live in his own doghouse than a gold or silver nest. Old people tended to be nostalgic. Besides, he might not be used to living in the buildings outside. His son's house had just been built, so it was a pity to sell it. Therefore, he sold his old house and changed it to another building so that his son and his family could move to the city. The old man still hoped to live in this mountain village. After all, he had lived here for decades, and it was difficult to leave his hometown. Now it seemed that the original decision was right. There were fewer people in the mountain village, but those who stayed were about the same age. They got along well with each other. They chatted and talked about family matters. More importantly, Wang Yao's clinic was there. It was much more convenient for him to see a doctor. While the father and son were talking, a car came to the mountain village and stopped outside the clinic. It was a foreign license plate. "A car from Dao. You came so far to see Yao," the car said. 3 people got out of the car. It was a family of 3. The husband and wife looked to be in their 30s. They seemed to have taken good care of themselves. They had a child who was 6 or 7 years old. The child complexion was not good. His eyes were dull. It was as if he had not slept well the previous night. "Is this the place?" the woman asked. "Yes, this is the place," the man said. "Let's go," the woman said. The family of 3 entered the clinic and entered the courtyard. Although it was already winter, there was still some greenery in the small courtyard, which made people feel a lot better. Moreover, the temperature in the small courtyard wasn't as low as it was outside. The family of 3 went inside and saw Wang Yao, who was reading a medical book. As rumored, he was very young. "Hello, Dr. Wang," the man said. "Hello, have a seat. Who are you treating?" Although Wang Yao asked, he saw the little boy at first glance. His complexion was very poor. "Please take a look at our child. He always has this red rash on his body," the woman said. She lifted the child's clothes to reveal his abdomen and back. There was a fine and dense rash on his back. It was the size of a grain of rice. It looked a little scary. "Are there any other symptoms?" Wang Yao asked. "Well, he doesn't like to eat, and he can't sleep well at night. He has diarrhea easily," the woman said. Their son had been ill for a period of time. He had gone to a decent hospital in Dao City and taken all kinds of Western and Chinese medicine, but there was no effect. Later, they heard from someone that there was such a young doctor who was very skilled. Later, they checked on Weibo and found that there were indeed people from Dao City who came here to see a doctor. There was more than one. All of them were cured. So, the couple took advantage of the time and brought their son directly here. "Let me take a look," Wang Yao said with a smile. "Don't be afraid." He softly comforted the child who looked a little timid. The problem was not very big. The poison had entered the blood, and the yin and yang were out of balance. It had developed into a rash. In addition, he had taken a lot of medicine during this period. Medicine was 30% poisonous. His internal organs were damaged, so naturally, he was not in good spirits. He did not like to eat and had diarrhea. These were all normal symptoms. "Doctor?" the woman asked. "It's not a big problem. He will be fine after taking some medicine," Wang Yao said. "Really?" The woman could not believe her ears. In the past few months, she and her husband had been running around a lot for her son's illness. They had been to hospitals in Dao and the provincial capital. If it had not been for the recommendation of a friend, they would not have come here. They would have gone directly to Jing. Chapter 902. Even in those areas, the experts did not have a good solution. However, this young man said it was not a big problem. It would be strange if they were not surprised. "You will know after you take the medicine," Wang Yao said with a smile. He saw the doubts in the eyes of the couple. He just smiled. "Dr. Wang, we did not mean that," the woman hurriedly said. "Can you please prescribe the medicine?" "Okay." After seeing the child, a prescription had formed in Wang Yao's mind. It was mainly to cool the blood and balance the yin and yang, plus a little detoxification powder. Wait a moment. After getting the medicine, Wang Yao went to the room next door to boil the medicine. "Wife, is this Dr. Wang reliable? He is so young. Hey, keep your voice down. Don't let others hear you." The woman patted her husband. "Oh, I'm just worried. He doesn't look very reliable," the man said. "What if he doesn't cure our son's illness and causes other problems?" As soon as he entered the room and saw Wang Yao's young face, he felt that this young man was not very reliable. He could not help it. He was too young. Such a young doctor. Even if he left his mother's womb to learn medical skills, it would only be a dozen years. In fact, it was definitely not. How good could he be? He felt that his wife must have been fooled by him. "Since you are here, why don't you give it a try?" "I'm not worried about the money," the man said. "I am just afraid that if his treatment does not have any effect, it will cause other problems to our son. Then, the loss will outweigh the gain." "We should go to Jing," the man said. "They're the best hospitals in the country." "Instead of wasting time here," the man said. "Wasting time? Oh God, what did I just hear?" Just as they were talking, a man in jeans and a jacket with a trace of cynicism came into the room. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation, but since I heard something I shouldn't have, or rather I don't want to hear, I have to say something." The person who came in was naturally Jiazizai. Just now, when he knocked on the door, he heard Wang Yao's voice ringing in his ears. It was as if Wang Yao was standing beside him. He was not surprised and pushed the door open. When he approached the room, he heard the couple's conversation. He was a little unhappy. "You are lucky to be able to come here and receive treatment from Sir," Wang Yao said. "Let me take a look. Ah, is the patient your son from Dao? Who are you?" The man was a little unhappy after hearing this. He didn't know who this guy was, but he kept talking nonstop after coming in. He was so confused that he couldn't understand what he was talking about. I'm Mister's disciple." "Sir? What's Sir? A teacher?" "No, of course not. It's the one you saw just now." "What? That young man?" The couple was surprised. "Yes, it's him," Jiazizai said with a smile. "Are you kidding? You're at least 30 this year, right?" "Ah, I have to say that your taste is not very good. I'm 32 this year." "You're 32, and he's only 30 this year. You said you're his disciple. What are you learning from him?" "Kung Fu." Jiazizai smiled, revealing 2 rows of white teeth. "Damn, is he crazy?" The man frowned. "Is he a prop?" Creak. The door of the room opened. Wang Yao came in with a bottle of medicine. "What are you talking about?" "Sir." Seeing Wang Yao come in, Jiazizai hurriedly got up. "Sit down. This is the medicine." Wang Yao put the medicine on the table. "Ah, you're Dr. Wang, right? In fact, we just discussed. Sorry, we don't want to see the doctor here." The man did not care about his wife's gesture and look. He continued to speak. In fact, he was saying what he was thinking. "Are you sure?" Wang Yao was not angry. He just asked. "Yes." "Very good. You can go now," Wang Yao said. "Wait, we can compensate you for your loss," the woman said. She felt that her husband's words were a bit abrupt. No need. Wang Yao waved his hand. Come again when you've thought it through. Let's go. The man took his wife and child and walked out. Be gentle. The woman was a little unhappy. I told you this morning that we shouldn't come here, but you didn't listen. The man was a little annoyed. It's just a waste of time. I'm here for the child's illness. Too grumpy. Jiazizai shook her head. They have no idea what they've missed. Sir, is the child's illness a big problem? It doesn't seem to be a big problem now, but it's hard to say if it's delayed for a long time, Wang Yao said. Any small problem could easily become a big problem if it was delayed for a long time. What a poor child. If it were me, I would think so too, Wang Yao said. After all, his age would make people who did not know the truth think too much. What do you want from me? I got some news from the place you asked me to inquire about last time. Tell me about it. Recently, there have been murders in He County in southern Yunnan. So far, 19 people have died. 3 cases in less than half a month. According to the investigation, the murderer is likely to be from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Did you catch him? He ran away. Ran away? Yes, the suspect was found, Jiazizai said. He also committed another murder in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. When 2 police officers were about to arrest him, he poisoned them and ran away. He ran into the deep mountains and forests. What a coincidence. Indeed, seeing the cooked duck fly away, I don't know how they feel, Jiazizai said. Were those people poisoned to death? Yes, they were all poisoned, Jiazizai said. So far, it has not been found how they were poisoned. In the beginning, the poison was not detected in their bodies. It was limited by the leisurely local test conditions. No matter who did it, they should be punished, Wang Yao said. As a pharmacist, he had an extraordinary disgust for such evil people who used poison to kill people. In a sense, poison itself was also a kind of medicine. Yes, that young secretary will have a lot to worry about, Jiazizai said. He is a county party secretary under 30. Is that so? He is so young. Wang Yao sighed. He did have a lot of work to do when it came to such things. His name is Guo Zhenghe, Jiazizai said. Wait, what did you say his name was? Guo Zhenghe. Does your friend have any information about him? Well, I just did a simple check, Jiazizai said. He was directly parachuted in from Jing less than 2 years ago. At that time, he was just a town mayor. His father was the governor of Qixing. It's him. Wang Yao was surprised to hear that. Why, sir? Do you know this Guo Zhenghe? Yes, Wang Yao said. In fact, I saved his life once. That was the first time he used the licorice roots to save someone. Is that so? Jiazizai was a little surprised after hearing that. What a coincidence. So you two are friends? Friends? No, we can only be regarded as acquaintances. This kind of person is not suitable to be friends. He is too scheming. I understand. Jiazizai nodded. Tell your friend over there to pay more attention to their movements. Okay. Thousands of miles away in southern Yunnan, in the dense jungle, an off-road jeep was moving through bumps. The dirt road was bumpy and bumpy. 2 people were sitting in the car. They were Yang Guanfeng, who had received instructions to enter the Valley of Thousands of Medicine again, and his new partner, Lu Xiufeng. Damn it, what kind of broken road is this? How long do we have to walk? Lu Xiufeng, who was driving, asked. Well, we have just walked less than 1/3 of the way, Yang Guanfeng said. It will probably take nearly 2 hours. I have had enough. I should find a helicopter and fly directly in. Chapter 903. I'm not that capable, Yang Guanfeng said. He lit a cigarette during the bumpy ride. Hey, what about the helicopter last time? Someone contacted the nearby troops and asked them for support, Yang Guanfeng said. Who could ask the troops for help? Lu Xiufeng asked with a smile. Could it be Secretary Guo, who is so resourceful? Light one for me, Yang Guanfeng said. I don't know about that. Yang Guanfeng lit another cigarette and handed it to Yang Guanfeng. Hey, drive carefully, Yang Guanfeng said. There are trees all around. Don't hit them carelessly. You jinx it. The car bumped all the way through the jungle and across the river. They finally saw the valley. We're here, Yang Guanfeng said. Oh, that's enough. After a few hours of driving, the two of them were about to fall apart. Next time we come to such a broken place, we must apply for a better car. The comfort of this car is too poor. All right, don't talk so much nonsense, Yang Guanfeng said. Let's go. Someone is here to pick us up. There was a big river outside the valley with a drawbridge above it. The car could not enter, so they could only walk. Walking on the drawbridge, the bridge swayed slightly. Below was the turbulent river, which dropped more than 15 meters. Standing on the drawbridge, they could see the situation in the valley. The walls were made of mountain stones, the thick tomb door, and a few bamboo buildings could be seen behind it. There were also people coming and going. After looking at the place, Lu Xiufeng said, "It's really a dangerous place." "It's quite dangerous, but this place is in such a remote place," Yang Guanfeng said. "It's not an important traffic route or a place that military strategists will fight for. There are no resources, and the traffic is so inconvenient." "Who would come here?" "Us," Lu Xiufeng said with a smile. "Hey, someone came out to meet us. Did you tell them we were coming?" "No. I'm afraid they found us a long time ago," Yang Guanfeng said. "It was the same the last time they came. They found us a long time ago, but why didn't I notice anyone following us? It would be strange if you could find them." "Welcome, welcome, very welcome, Captain Yang. I didn't expect you to be here in just a few days." This time, it was Miao Qingfeng who came to visit Sister Ying and the others. With a smile on his face, he opened his hands to express his warm welcome to the two of them. "Thank you. Sorry to trouble you again. Let me introduce my colleague, Lu Xiufeng. This is Miao Qingfeng," Yang Guanfeng said with a smile. "Hello, Captain Yang. You're treating me like an outsider," Miao Qingfeng said. "When I left last time, I said that you and your friends are welcome here at any time, whether it's for business or personal matters." His words were watertight. "Are you here because of what happened last time?" "Yes, let's take a look again. Let's go. Let's talk while we walk." "All right." Under the guidance of Miao Qingfeng, the two of them entered the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. As it was Lu Xiufeng's first time here, he looked around as he walked. "TSK, TSK, TSK. This place is really beautiful." It was not a compliment. It was the truth. The mountain village was surrounded by mountains with trees. The scenery was pleasant and evergreen. "It is very beautiful," Yang Guanfeng said. "If you like, you can stay here for 2 more days," said the Miao Qingfeng with a smile. "We not only have beautiful scenery here, but also delicious food." "Well, are there any beauties here?" Lu Xiufeng blurted out. "Ah." The Miao Qingfeng was stunned. "Are you crazy?" Yang Guanfeng glared at him. "Ah, sorry. I'm really sorry," Lu Xiufeng immediately said with a smile. It's okay. Yes. The Miao Qingfeng said yes 3 times in a row. "Don't take it to heart. He's just talking nonsense," Yang Guanfeng hurriedly explained. "It's okay. We do have a few beautiful girls in our village, but there are some rules in the village," said the Miao Qingfeng. "He's such a person. Don't take it seriously." "Captain Yang, where should we start first?" "Well, is Chief Miao busy? I want to visit him first." After speaking, the Miao Qingfeng quickly went to the village and reported to the Miaoxi River. "Okay, wait a moment. I'll pass on the message." "Ah, don't say that," Lu Xiufeng said. "This village is really beautiful." "Hey, where are you going?" "To look around." "Wait, let's see the chief first. I guess we'll stay here for 2 days. There'll be time for you to look around." "Ah, I can't wait." "Hey, is this the lake you were talking about?" Lu Xiufeng pointed to the lake not far away. "Yes, only part of the lake was visible in the village because it was blocked by the mountain. A bigger part was on the other side of the mountain." "What's it called?" "Soothing God Lake." "Soothing God Lake?" Lu Xiufeng repeated the name. "Is the fish in it delicious?" He immediately changed the topic. "Delicious. It's very fresh." Yang Guanfeng had adapted to the other party's very jumpy way of talking and responded. In fact, he had eaten a lot of fish in the 2 days he had been there. Lu Xiufeng walked slowly and carefully observed. After seeing an old man in his 60s or 70s, he immediately smiled and greeted him. "Hello, sir." However, the old man spoke in a local dialect. They basically could not understand it. "Sir, Would you like a cigarette? Lu Xiaofeng smiled and took out a cigarette. Yes. The old man smiled and waved his hand. Ah, it's so important to master a dialect. I can't understand what this old man is saying at all. Yang Guanfeng said. He greeted us and told us not to wander around if there's nothing. Yang Guanfeng said. What? You can understand? Lu Xiaofeng was surprised. I know a little, Yang Guanfeng said. During this time, in addition to paying attention to the case, another thing he did was to find a way to learn the dialect of this place. In fact, the language they used was somewhat similar to the Miao language of this generation in Miaojiang. He happened to know a little, so it was relatively easier to master it. Now, it was impossible for him to talk to the people in the stockade, but he could understand most of what they said. I didn't expect you to know this. We can't let them know about this, Yang Guanfeng said. The last time we came, they hid something from us. They communicated with each other in a dialect. I think it's not a big problem for the people in this stockade to speak Mandarin, even if it's not standard. Well, I understand. It didn't take long for the Miao Qing phone to come back. The chief asked you to go over. Okay. The two men followed him to the largest wooden house in the stockade. Well, it's quite imposing. The Miao Qing phone looked carefully at the wooden house. Let's go. Be careful later. Got it. I'm sorry. The chief was going to come over to welcome you in person, but someone in the stockade wanted to see him, so he was delayed. Oh, our chief knows how to see patients. Of course, the chief is the person with the highest medical skills in this stockade, the Miao Qing phone said. This is a rule that has been passed down for hundreds of years in the stockade. Those who are capable can take up the position. Really? Don't they solicit votes or hold elections? Haha. The Miao Qing phone smiled. Please come in. They entered the wooden house and saw the Miaoxi River treating someone. It was an old man who looked to be in his 60s. Please sit down. After seeing the two of them come in, he smiled and nodded at them. You go ahead. He said a few words to the old man and then said a few words to a man in his 30s next to him. The man turned and left. Hello, Captain Yang, and this new friend. Welcome to the stockade. Hello, Chief Miao. I'm sorry to disturb you again. You're too polite, the man said. We welcome you here at any time. As they were talking, the man who had just left came back with a package in his hand. He handed it to the old man in his 60s and said a few words to him. The old man then left. The man in his 30s took a few steps back and stood respectfully behind the Miaoxi River. Are you here for the same case this time? The man asked. Yes, a similar case happened again. We still have some things we don't understand, so we're here. Well, what do you need to investigate? We'll cooperate fully. How about this? Let Qing Feng go with you. You're familiar with him. Okay. Yang Guanfeng smiled. Qing Feng, cooperate with Captain Yang and treat them well. Treat them as friends from afar. Yes, Chief. If you need me to do anything, please don't hesitate to ask, the Miaoxi River said. Okay. Thank you for your cooperation. Chapter 904. What they said were all polite words. Only they themselves knew what they were thinking. Coming out of the wooden house, Lu Xiaofeng subconsciously took out a cigarette. Well, do you want one? After lighting one, he handed it to the Miao Qing Feng. Thank you, but I don't smoke, the Miao Qing Feng said with a smile. Captain Yang, where should we start? Let's go to Miao Qing Shan's house first. Okay, the Miao Qing Feng said. He then led the way and led the two of them to Miao Qing Shan's house again. It was the same as the last time they came. There were basically no changes. Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiaofeng carefully walked around the house several times. Everything in the house had been turned over. Yang Guanfeng found that some very hidden places had been turned over. Have you found any trace of him? Yang Guanfeng asked. No, the stockade has not given up on searching for him, but we haven't found him. After all, the forest is too big, the Miao Qing Feng said. Yes. Lu Xiaofeng held the cigarette in his mouth and stared at the pots and cans. He was about to touch them when he was stopped by the Miao Qing Feng. Captain Lu, be careful. Some of those things are poisonous. If you want to see them, tell me. I'll open them for you. Poisonous? Will they kill me? Lu Xiaofeng was so scared that he quickly retracted his hand. Ah, not really, but it will be more painful The Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. Which one do you want to see? One by one. Next to this side, Lu Xiufeng said as he pointed. It's too dangerous to put these things here. What if someone comes in and accidentally touches them? First, the people in our stockade won't enter the yard without the permission of the master, let alone the house, Miao Ching Feng said. Even if the door is open, it's the same. In the past 100 years, there have only been a few accidents. Second, this poison is very dangerous for you. But for the people in the stockade, it's just a small problem. Even if you accidentally get infected, there are ways to get rid of it. At most, you'll just suffer a little pain. That's all. Oh, they don't close their doors at night, and they don't pick up lost things on the road. Is the public security environment so good? It's all right because we're all from the same clan. Then what about Miao Ching Shan? Miao Ching Feng was stunned and choked on his words. This guy really doesn't know how to talk. I really want to kill him. Miao Ching Feng thought. When the forest is big, there will always be a few crooked trees. Well, that's how he talks. Don't take it to heart, young Guanfeng hurriedly explained. It's okay. Miao Ching Feng smiled, indicating that he didn't care. Ah, how old is this comrade Miao Ching Shan? 34. You're not married, right? Lu Xiufeng asked. Not yet. Why? Well, I don't know the specific reason yet, Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. Why would he care about these things on a daily basis? Are there many older youths in the village? Lu Xiufeng asked. What kind of irrelevant questions are these? Does this have anything to do with this case? Miao Ching Feng couldn't help but complain. Well, there shouldn't be many. I don't really care about it. How old are you? Are you 30? 29. Are you married? Not yet. Then, you have to hurry up. Aren't your parents worried? Lu Xiufeng asked. Hearing this, young Guanfeng saw the Miao Qingfeng's face change. TSK, what's the matter? He patted Lu Xiufeng. Ah, sorry, I was just asking. Captain Lu's questions don't have much to do with the case, do they? Then ask about the relevant things, Lu Xiufeng said. How is Miao Qingshan usually in the village? He is very loyal and honest, but he doesn't like to talk much. He usually stays at home. Why would such a person kill people? I don't know about that, Miao Qingfeng said. Staying at home all day? Ah, so he doesn't go out much? I don't know about that either. There are so many people in the village. Who goes out and who does something secretly? How can I know so clearly? Miao Qingfeng said with a smile. Well, that makes sense. Lu Xiufeng looked carefully at every corner. He then asked some very strange questions, such as what Miao Qingshan liked to eat, what he liked to do, what his constellation was, and so on. Miao Qingfeng was stunned. Is he a police officer or a reporter from a gossip magazine? Why does he ask such strange questions? Unknowingly, the sky gradually darkened. You two have been on the road for a day. After you arrived, you were busy investigating the case. In the evening, our patriarch will hold a banquet to entertain you two. I hope you can attend. Of course, Lu Xiufeng promised with a smile. Well, I have arranged a place for you two to stay. What do you think? Let's go there first, Yang Guanfeng said. Miao Qingfeng took the two of them to the wooden building, where Yang Guanfeng had stayed the last time he came. You two take a rest first. I will pick you up later. Well, thank you for today. You're welcome. Miao Qingfeng said goodbye and left. How do you feel? This young man is very shrewd. Keep your voice down, Yang Guanfeng said. Do you know if there's a bug in here? It can't be, Yang Guanfeng said. A small stockade is like a spy's workstation. Well, I always feel that this stockade is very unusual. But it is unusual. I have seen the information about Miaoshi River. In the last census, I remember that he was 59 years old, right? Yes. 15 years ago, he was 59, Yang Guanfeng said. His real age should be 74 now. A man in his 70s looks like he is in his 40s. Even if you say that he is in his late 30s, I think some people will believe it. How'd he do it? He took good care of himself, right? Yang Guanfeng asked. Only Uncle Xingfei. Let's not talk about him. Let's talk about something else. How is Miao Qingshan? This person doesn't give me the feeling that he is the murderer of those cases. Why? According to my observation in his home, he is a very homebody person who rarely goes out, Lu Xiufeng said. This kind of person has a tendency to be autistic. It is true that he likes to fiddle with things, but he is shy and not good with words. He is relatively kind. This was a unique ability of his. He could make a sketch of people he had never met through their living environment. He could analyze their psychological and behavioral characteristics. When he was in college, he specialized in criminal psychology. Was he framed? It is very likely. Yang Guanfeng was silent for a while. In fact, when I first came here, I didn't think that Miao Qingshan was the murderer. He was just a scapegoat. As for his purpose, I guess he wanted us to quickly end the case and leave. He didn't want us to stay here any longer. Moreover, last time, someone tipped us off. When he said the last sentence, Yang Guanfeng said it in Lu Xiufeng's ear. So, there are still people in their stockade who know some inside information and want to reflect it to us? Yes. TSK, yeah. You must be careful when you speak, Yang Guanfeng said. Although they won't do anything to us openly, you have investigated when you came here. These people are all experts in using poison. If they casually poison us, we may be poisoned without anyone knowing. Chapter 905. When the time comes, we will have no problem in here, Yang Guanfeng said. After we go out, we will have headaches, stomachaches, diarrhea, itchy skin, and blisters all over our bodies. We may not be able to get hard. Think about it. Is it that magical? You haven't experienced it yourself, so you naturally don't know. I don't want to experience it a second time. Yang Guanfeng actually had lingering fears about the last time he was poisoned. The kind of burning pain was completely different from the usual cold and fever. Now that you mention it, I'm a little scared, Wang Yao said. I can understand studying medicine. It is to cure diseases and save people. Why do you think they study poison and voodoo? I have thought about this and checked it out, Yang Guanfeng said. First, it was passed down from the older generation. Second, poison and voodoo are classified as medicines. The purpose of studying those things at the beginning may have been to cure diseases and save people. However, they found another use for them, which was to kill and deter others. Although these places are remote, there were many wars in ancient times. There were also bandits. This was also their means of defense. You did a lot of work before you came here? That's right, Wang Yao said. I specifically went to the library to check this place. There are some relevant records. Of course, they're all legendary things. Rumor has it that their ancestor was the disciple and successor of the king of medicine, Sun Simiao. King of medicine? Are you kidding? That was the Tang dynasty more than 1,000 years ago. Lu Xiufeng was surprised. Yes, but this valley of thousands of medicine has been recorded since the Ming dynasty. The Ming dynasty? That has a history of hundreds of years from now. Yes, this is an ancient village, Yang Guanfeng said. It is located in a remote area, so several major wars did not affect this place. They rarely interacted with the outside world, so they could be passed down. There are a lot of secrets in such a place. I also found some information. Rumor has it that there are old people who are more than 200 years old here. 200 years old? D***MN. Is that still a human? Is that a monster? Lu Xiufeng clicked his tongue. That is not necessarily the case. Rumor has it that Zhang Sanfeng of Wudong Mountain lived for more than 250 years, then became immortal. Rumor has it that Zhang Sanfeng is a Taoist priest. That's just a rumor, but according to the last census, there were at least 20 elderly people over 100 years old in this stockade. The total population of this stockade is only 200 people. This ratio is already very high. Changshu, good at using medicine, poison, and goo worms. Hey, what do goo worms look like? Lu Xiufeng asked. To be honest, I haven't seen it either, but I don't want to see it. While the two of them were talking, someone knocked on the door. Please come in. It was Miao Qingfeng who came in from outside. The banquet is ready. What do you think? Let's go and have a taste of the food and wine here, Lu Xiufeng said with a smile. The two of them followed the Miao Qingfeng to the Miaoxi River's house. The banquet was indeed very sumptuous. The dishes were all local dishes from the village, prepared for the most distinguished guests. Welcome, welcome. Please have a seat. Seeing the two of them arrive, the chief stood up to welcome them. Thank you. Chief Meow, you're too polite. After taking a seat, Lu Xiaofeng stared at the food on the table. Well, what is this? Ah, this is a kind of fungus that grows in our mountain. It tastes delicious and has the effect of nourishing the body, the Miao Qing Feng introduced. Oh, what about this? This is a special fish from Soothing God's Lake. It's very delicious. Is that so? Then I have to taste it carefully. Lu Xiaofeng asked about almost every dish like a curious baby. TSK, TSK, TSK. This is a heavenly treasure. It's a place of outstanding people. The local specialties are so rich. Since everyone had arrived, the banquet soon began. As the chief of the stockade, Miaoxi River brought wine to express his warm welcome to the two of them. He also said that he would do everything possible to help them complete the mission. Then, the banquet began according to the rules of the stockade. Well, it's delicious. Lu Xiaofeng almost never stopped eating or put down his chopsticks. This local cuisine is really delicious. He kept giving a thumbs up. The Miaoqing Feng next to him had a smile on his face. No matter who it was, they were always happy to be praised. It's delicious. Eat more. Well, this is also delicious. What is it brewed from? It's brewed from a mixture of several local grains and some Chinese herbs. Drinking it often has the effect of strengthening the body and prolonging one's life. Well, I have to drink more. Can it be aphrodisiac? Yes, and the effect is more obvious. Well, good. Lu Xiaofeng raised his head and took a big gulp of wine. Anyway, this meal was very enjoyable. He even let himself go. Yang Guanfeng, who was next to him, ate a lot and drank a lot of wine. Ah, thank you, Chief. Thank you, Brother Qingfeng. The taste of the dishes is excellent. The wine is even better. Thank you for your hospitality. When you have time to go to the provincial capital, feel free to let me know. I'll host a banquet for you. Well, it's a deal, the Miaoxi River said with a smile. It's a deal. Cheers. Cheers. That night, Lu Xiaofeng drank at least 1 kilogram of wine by himself. In the end, he directly lay on the table. He was delirious and blacked out. Sorry, my colleague lost his composure. Yang Guanfeng, who didn't drink much, said, in fact, on such an occasion, people like them who came with work should not drink so much wine. There were rules in these aspects. Ah, Captain Yang, I think Captain Lu is a person in a good mood. It's rare, the Miaoxi River said with a smile. In the end, Lu Xiaofeng was carried back to his residence on a rattan frame. Sorry to trouble you. I'm really sorry. You're welcome. This is the hangover soup prepared for you. It's very effective. The Miaoqing Feng asked someone to bring up a porcelain jar with a lid. It was not big. Thank you. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. There are people next door. Oh, okay. Rest early. Thank you for your hospitality. After sending the Miao Qing Feng away, Yang Guanfeng opened the lid and looked at the hangover soup in the porcelain jar. It was very light and smelled faintly of medicine. In the end, he didn't drink at all. What hangover soup? Give me a bowl. Lu Xiaofeng, who was lying on the bed, suddenly sat up. Hey, be careful. This Lu Xiaofeng directly picked up the bowl on the table and gulped down 2 bowls of soup. Well, the taste is not bad, the Miao Qingfeng said. Why don't you drink it? You didn't get drunk. I drank very little, so it's not a big problem. In fact, the alcohol content of the grain wine brewed in the village was not particularly high. It was not a big problem to drink a little. Such a fine wine. If you miss this village, there won't be another shop like this. I remember that you are also a wine lover, Lu Xiaofeng said with a smile. His eyes were very spirited, and he didn't look drunk at all. It depends on the time, Yang Guanfeng said softly as he pointed to the hangover soup. Not here. Maybe there are spices in it. Sigh, you're always worried about this and that, Wang Yao said. You worry too much. It's a classic case of once bitten, twice shy. I observed him carefully tonight. That Miao Shihe is definitely a remarkable person. It's just that he's cooped up in this small village. If he were to move to another place, he'd definitely be someone who could make a great career out of it. You have a high opinion of him. Of course, he's one of the best people I've seen over the years, Lu Xiaofeng said. This person won't be so narrow-minded. He won't use any underhanded means in these aspects. but your worries are not superfluous. If this kind of person wants to make a move on someone, he will definitely do it so that the other party can't make a comeback. As he spoke, Lu Xiaofeng drank another bowl of hangover soup. Hey, you really don't want to try it? It tastes good. I don't drink it, thank you. What about the other people? This banquet was not only for them, but also for Miaoxi River. There were also a few old people in the stockade who looked to be in their 70s. According to Miaoxi River's introduction, they were the more prestigious old people in the stockade. Those people are very respectful of Miaoxi River. What else? Also, I think one of them is somewhat dissatisfied with Miaoxi River. Oh, which one? The one called Miao Yintian. The one at the second table diagonally across from us. He's taller and thinner. One of his eyes is slightly blue. Chapter 906. Yes, it's him. At the banquet just now, I found that once Miaoxi River spoke, his right hand would move a few times regularly. It was very regular. Maybe there are other reasons? Well, I've analyzed it, Lu Xiaofeng said. This is the most likely aspect, more than 90%. Some small details of a person's activities can best reflect a person's inner world. Trust me, I'm a professional in this area. Don't be so **T. Someone is coming. The taste is great. Lu Xiaofeng exclaimed loudly. Are my acting skills great? Very good. 5 stars, Yang Guanfeng said. However, to be honest, the food here is indeed very delicious, Lu Xiaofeng said. The rice wine is also very good. I have never drunk such good wine. Even Mao Dai and Wuyanya are not as good as it. Hey, did you drink it the last time you were here? Well, I drank a little. It is indeed very tasty. Then tell me the truth. Can this wine really strengthen the sex drive? A few black lines immediately appeared on Yang Guanfeng's forehead. Why are you always talking about this? Oh, you are not humorous at all. It's getting late. I'm going to sleep. I have to continue shopping tomorrow. After speaking, Lu Xiaofeng suddenly fell on the bed. After a while, he was snoring loudly. Ah, really? Yang Guanfeng sighed helplessly and shook his head. He then fell on the bed, but he did not fall asleep for a long time. There were a lot of things to consider about whether he could gain anything this time and whether there would be any accidents. He was in a foreign land, and the other party's attitude was not as kind and friendly as it seemed on the surface. How could he fall asleep so easily? In a wooden house in the valley of thousands of medicine, master. What is the background of Lu Xiaofeng? He is also a criminal investigation expert in the province. He and Yang Guanfeng are known as the two heroes, Lu Xiaofeng said. His rate of solving cases is very high. He is a talent on record in the capital. Then cooperate with their investigation. Let them investigate whatever they want, Miaoxi River said. How is it over there? Very good. Everything is going well. That's good. The night was quiet. Thousands of miles away on Nanshan Mountain, in the herbal field, several bouquets of flowers were quietly blooming. The sound of chanting came from the small room. The dog, the goshawk, and the black snake listened to the scripture quietly. They only rested when the chanting stopped. The next morning, the sky was still not clear. In town, the first batch of medicinal herbs produced was loaded onto the road and would be sold to the south. Phew, the first batch of medicine is finally out. The production manager of the pharmaceutical company heaved a sigh of relief. He came from the south and had been following the Zheng family for many years. Naturally, he knew some internal news, including the fight between the two brothers in the family. President Zheng was the loser. He gave up most of the family business he controlled, leaving only a pharmaceutical factory. Moreover, the young man had a large share in it. That was to say, if he failed again this time, young Master Zheng would really be defeated. It would be difficult for him to climb up the mountain again. He had been following him for a long time and had been labeled. Even if he stayed in his original place, he would not be welcomed. Therefore, he simply followed him. To be honest, he did not like Lianshan. It was a small city in the north. The climate was relatively dry. Whether it was the climate, environment, or living habits, he needed to adapt again. These were secondary. The key problem was that their pharmaceutical factory had just been set up. Moreover, it was separated from the huge system of the Zheng family. They had to start from scratch. They needed to produce medicine and sell it again. The development of medicine itself was a very difficult thing. However, young Master Zheng was indeed an extraordinary person. He actually knew such a young man. Therefore, the first medicine was developed just like that. It cannot be easier. The first step was to sell it. The next step was the more important step, which was to sell the produced medicine. Otherwise, no matter how good the medicine was, it would be useless. For these people, to put it bluntly, they were here to make money. The first batch of medicine had been produced for a few days, but it was still piled up in the warehouse. He felt that something was not right. In order to run the company, the workers needed to be paid and the raw materials needed to be purchased. Moreover, they needed to purchase the best medicinal materials, which were purely wild. The price itself was much higher than those large-scale artificial products. The operation of the equipment needed money, and the workers needed to be paid. Running a factory was a money-burning business. It was good if the products produced could make money in time. Otherwise, the factory would be closed down. Oh, I don't know how long it will take for the medicine to be accepted by the market. How is the effect? This was a new drug, and it was produced by an unknown pharmaceutical factory. It would take some time for it to be accepted by the users. If the effect of the drug was good and the publicity was appropriate, then the time would be shorter. But if the effect was bad and the means of public relations were not good, then the drug would be in danger. The effect of the medicine was the most important. It also depended on the advertisement. Fortunately, although young Master Zheng had fallen out with his elder brother, he still had some friends and channels. Therefore, the first batch of medicine was distributed. Hopefully, it will be a hit. In the morning, Wang Yao took time to go to the factory in town. The production tasks here were not particularly heavy. Some of the equipment had even been stopped for cleaning and maintenance because the medicine in the warehouse had been produced a lot. Hello, Mr. Wang. After hearing that Wang Yao had come, the person in charge hurried over. He was afraid to neglect him. Don't call me that in the future. I'm not used to it, Wang Yao said. He didn't want too many people to know that he had such an identity. Then, just call me Xiao Wang, or just call me by my name. How can I do that? The person in charge hurriedly said. Are you kidding me? If I really call you that, even if you don't take it to heart, if young Master Zheng finds out, I will most likely pack up my things and get out of here. How about I also call you sir? Sir, well, I'll call you Dr. Wang. Okay, up to you. A batch of medicine has just been shipped out. It's going to the south. It's not easy to promote the new medicine, is it? Wang Yao said. He knew a little about this. Yes, it's not easy to promote it. Mr. Zheng's former family is an expert in this field, but their current relationship, well, Wang Yao pondered for a while. He could help a little. I'm leaving. You do your work. Okay, I'll walk you out. No need. Wang Yao smiled and waved his hand. He went out, got in the car, and returned to the mountain village. Chapter 907. On the way back, Wang Yao was thinking about this matter. Who should I ask for help? After returning to the clinic, he first called Sun Yunsheng. Sun Yunsheng was informed of the opening of the pharmaceutical factory, but at that time, Sun Yunsheng was abroad, discussing a very important business. He couldn't come back, so he sent someone to congratulate Sun Yunsheng. After all, the Sun family also had a small share in the pharmaceutical factory. That's no problem, Sun Yunsheng immediately said. I'll arrange for someone to contact this matter. He always tried his best to complete the things arranged by Wang Yao. He could not get away from this matter. After all, he was also one of the shareholders of the pharmaceutical company. Young master, Sir's pharmaceutical factory has produced the first batch of drugs, Sun Yunsheng said. So fast. Sir has always done things differently, Sun Yunsheng said. Our task is to use our strength to promote this batch of drugs. Sun Yunsheng took a sip of tea. Use all our strength. Understood, young master. Hao turned and left. Only Sun Yunsheng was left in the room. Sir, are you finally willing to release your influence in another way? Sun Yunsheng asked. Drugs were profitable. Some were profitable, and some were not profitable at all. Moreover, the Sun family's business domain did not have this area. They did not intend to operate it, because they had never operated it before. If they rashly experimented with it, the effect might not be good. However, it was different now. Wang Yao had given them such an opportunity, a rare opportunity. It was an opportunity to expand their territory and further get closer to him. The binding of interests had always been a way to get closer to him. It was a very effective way. In a mountain village, Wang Yao was drinking tea in the clinic. Pan Jun was sitting opposite him. "Master, I heard that the pharmaceutical factory has produced the first batch of drugs," Pan Jun said. "Yes, it has been a few days," Pan Jun said. "Okay, I'll talk to my sister and ask her to buy a batch. If she needs it, I can let her know. The county hospital can try it," Pan Jun said. In fact, even though he was the director of the emergency department, he did not have much say in the procurement of drugs in the hospital. This was because a lot of interests were involved in this, and they were all related to the hospital's hospital directors and associate hospital directors. However, he was a person who liked to make friends, and he had a good relationship with the colleague who was in charge of procurement. If it was just 1 or 2 drugs, he could try to purchase them. In fact, he was completely confident in the medicine produced by Wang Yao's prescription. However, in today's society, the things he made were not recognized just because they were useful and effective. This required a process. "Well, it's okay," Wang Yao said. He had heard about the situation in the county hospital from Pan Jun and did not want to put him in a difficult position. "This is good medicine. It's very effective in the clinic," Wang Yao said. "Hey, I'll tell my sister now." After making the call, Pan Mei agreed without hesitation. However, she would not use a lot of medicine. After all, it was just a small clinic. While the master and apprentice were sitting and drinking tea, another guest came. "Brother Tan, the good wine is gone." Tian Yuantu entered the clinic. He was travel-worn and looked tired. He was not alone. He had brought another person with him. It was a middle-aged man with a very bad complexion. He was a medium height and had a bald head. "This is a friend of mine from another place. He is not feeling well. He went to many hospitals, but there was no effect. I introduced him to you," Tian Yuantu said. "Okay, let me take a look. Sit down and rest for a while. Have a cup of tea." After hearing that, Pan Jun immediately poured a cup of tea for him. "Thank you. You're welcome." Wang Yao stared at the man sitting in front of him. He was breathing hard. He looked very tired and kept sighing. "What do you feel uncomfortable?" "I feel uncomfortable all over. I just feel irritable and weak. I want to sleep, but I can't," the man said. "What do you do for a living?" "I do some business myself," the man said. In fact, he did not want to come to this place. However, he could not refuse Tian Yuantu's kind introduction. The two of them were friends and business partners, so he came here. This doctor is really young. He really could not figure out what such a young doctor could do to make his friend, who had always been calm, admire him so much. "Is your business good?" "It's fine. You have a lot of social activities. Basically, you haven't eaten at home, right?" Wang Yao asked. "Ah, yes." The man thought for a moment. In fact, he was basically outside all day long. Most of the time, he had lunch and dinner with business partners or some public officials. "Your problem is not big. The main problem is that you have not rested well. You're tired to cope with it. Your body's yin and yang are out of balance. You are in a very poor state of subhealth. Rest well. Adjust your work, rest, and living habits. It is estimated that you will be fine in less than a month," Wang Yao said. "It's that simple?" the man asked in surprise. "It's that simple. I think there should be other doctors who have said that, right?" The man nodded. There were other doctors who had said that, and there was more than one. However, he did not listen at all. He was too busy. How could he have time to rest? The most time he had to rest was 6 hours a day. For him, sleeping in was a luxury. Since someone has said that, why don't you listen? "Well, I am too busy." It was because of the word busy again. "Well, I have said all that you have said. Is there anything else?" Wang Yao said to Tian Yuantu, who was drinking tea with Pan Jun. Wang Yao did not have a good impression of people who were busy with their business and making money and put their health in a secondary position or even lower position. "Nothing. Sorry to disturb you." "It's okay." Wang Yao smiled. "That's it?" "Yes, go back and think about it." Tian Yuantu and the middle-aged man left. This young doctor, after coming out, Tian Yuantu said, "Lao Zhao, you didn't tell me the truth. What's wrong? Since a doctor has suggested that to you, Why didn't you listen? It's not like you don't know my situation, the middle-aged man said. I'm busy from morning to night. I can't deal with all the things. How can I have time to rest? You are making it difficult for me. Tian Yuan sighed. Why is it difficult? Forget it. Let's go. Tian Yuan too waved his hand. Since it had already happened, it was useless to regret it. Fortunately, this old friend did not say anything offensive. Outside the clinic, a Mercedes-Benz left the mountain village. Master, what's wrong with that person? Disease? Disease that costs money more than life. Wang Yao said with a smile. Oh, I see. Panju nodded. There are many people like that now. Chapter 908. Compared with illness, most people were more afraid of being poor. It was not terrible to get sick from overwork. It could be solved. The terrible thing was that you knew what to do, but you didn't do it. Instead, it became worse and made your body worse. No matter how good the medical skills were, such a person could not be saved. If his mindset did not change, there was no need to treat him. Have some tea. Thank you, master. In the town, in the pharmaceutical factory, during the day, Chung was a little confused. What's going on? Just now, a person from Dao had suddenly come to purchase medicine. He had come with a car. The amount he wanted was so large that he could basically empty all the medicine in the warehouse. It was a little fast. It seemed that his previous worries were completely unnecessary. These medicines seemed to be very popular. Should he consider continuing to put in materials for production next? Seeing that the medicine that had just been produced had been emptied, he considered whether to continue to purchase raw materials in large quantities and continue production. Of course, he did not have the final say in this matter. He had to listen to the boss. Zheng Weijun was responsible for the specific matters. He thought about it and immediately called the young master of the Zheng family, the young master he had been serving. What? They're all sold out? Zheng Weijun was very surprised after hearing the news. When he knew that the other party had come to Dao, he had already guessed that the Sun family had helped. They are very well informed. Is it because of Sir? As a result, the pressure on him suddenly decreased a lot. The Sun family had unparalleled influence in Dao City. No matter in which aspect, this influence was not only in Dao City, but also in the entire Qi province. In the coastal peninsula of Qi province, their family's influence was also one of the best. It's a little easier now. He lit a cigarette and looked out the window. It was raining outside. It was snowing in the north, but it turned into rain in the south. It was very cold outside. That day, he had added a former partner, who could be considered a good friend. He wanted to ask the other party for help. As a result, the other party's reaction surprised him and even made him feel a little heartbroken. The other party did not refuse, but the amount he wanted was no different from a refusal. This was a former friend. When they were on good terms, they patted their chests and almost became sworn brothers. However, when he really encountered a problem and needed help, this person's character would be exposed. He felt that the current Zheng Weijun had lost his power. He was the loser in their family's internal struggle this time, and he had lost miserably. Without the power he once had, there was no value in befriending or using him. However, he still needed some so-called face to prevent rumors from spreading. Therefore, he asked for a small amount. Zheng Weijun only smiled after hearing that. Then, he finished the tea in his cup and left. TSK, a person who has been abandoned by his family, wants to rely on such a small pharmaceutical company to climb the mountain again. It is simply a fool's dream. He didn't think that it was possible for the other party to rise again. If they were on good terms with the other party, what would the true leader of the Zheng family think? In this place, they would still have to rely on the other party's face for food in the future. I'm sorry. He sighed softly. Come, let's pour this tea away. It's a pity that this pot of good tea is wasted. Young master, let's go to the next one. There was no sign of discouragement on Zheng Weijun's face, but only he knew what he was thinking and feeling. In a mountain village thousands of miles away, snowflakes floated in the sky. It was not even 5:30 p.m., but it was completely dark. Wow, what a sumptuous meal. Wang Yao returned home and found that the table was filled with a sumptuous dinner. Wash your hands and eat. Mom, are there any guests today? No, it's just the three of us. Oh, the meal is quite sumptuous. It's snowing. There's nothing much to do, so I made a few more dishes. Have a drink with your father. Sure, no problem. Wang Yao replied with a smile. The north wind whistled outside, and snowflakes danced in the air. However, it was warm and peaceful inside the house. There was delicious food and fine wine. Dad, I'll toast you. Come. Wang Fenghua smiled and clinked glasses with his son. It's cold. There's nothing much to do. Yes, there are fewer and fewer people in the village. Zhang Xiaoying said, Today, a few people who went to the city came back. They said that the city was good, but I don't think they're used to it. Wang Yao just smiled and did not make any comments. I think our village is quite good. Well, it's quite good, Wang Fenghua said as he picked up a mouthful of food. By the way, your Uncle Elong came this morning and brought a wild rabbit. What? Why did he bring something again? He just brought a chicken. Why did he bring a wild rabbit? Who hunted it? He caught it in the ground. Really? He went up the mountain. Most of the old people in the village had the ability to roughly figure out the route of the wild rabbits. According to the old people, these animals generally took a fixed route and would not change easily. If they touched it, they could catch it by grabbing it from the places it often passed. Of course, this required experience. I think his complexion is much better than before, Wang Fenghua said. Well, it's a lot better. He's almost cured. Almost cured? Didn't you say he had a bad disease? Zhang Xiaoying asked. This was the first name in their village for incurable terminal diseases, such as malignant tumors. It was more euphemistic. It's that kind of disease, but it can be cured. You can cure this disease? Wang Fenghua was also very surprised after hearing this. Well, yes. Wang Yao nodded. His parents were stunned for a while. They weren't particularly clear about how good their son's medical skills were, but from the fact that many people came to the village every day to seek treatment from him, they knew that he was indeed very good, especially when many of them were from other cities and even other provinces. The villagers talked about their son a lot. Most of them were envious. Of course, there were also some gossips, but after all, they were in the minority. The couple was very proud, but they didn't expect their son's ability to be so good that he could even treat that kind of disease. Sure, Wang Fenghua nodded. It was good to be good, but it was a little worrying if he was too good. Let's eat. Come on, cheers. Wang Fenghua raised his wine glass. The father and son drank a lot. Thousands of miles away in the valley of thousands of medicine. Lu Xiaofeng was still drunk that day. They walked around the valley, went up the mountain, asked some questions, and met some people. Of course, the Miao Qing Feng accompanied them throughout the process. After all, the two of them did not understand the local dialect and could not communicate with the people in the stockade smoothly. That night, they were still treated with great hospitality, but this time, it was the Miao Qing Feng who invited them. The dishes were not as sumptuous. Lu Xiaofeng could not be too extravagant. He could not be more extravagant than his master, but the taste was still very good. There was enough wine, so Lu Xiaofeng drank a lot again. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for making a fool of myself, Yang Guanfeng said. Don't say that. Captain Lu is a man of character, the Miao Qing Feng said with a smile. He arranged for someone to help Yang Guanfeng send Lu Xiaofeng back to his residence. Then, as usual, he sent a pot of delicious hangover soup. After the person left, Lu Xiaofeng lay on the bed and muttered, Ah, this wine is so delicious. Why don't you drink more? Well, get up and drink the hangover soup. After lying on the bed for a while, he got up and drank more than half the pot of hangover soup. What did you find today? There is something wrong with soothing God's lake. You can see it too. Well, you also thought there was something wrong with it when you came last time, right? Yes, but I didn't find anything wrong with it, Yang Guanfeng said. When he came last time, he stood on a mountain and found that there was something wrong with the lake, but he could not tell exactly what was wrong. The problem with this lake is that the fish in it are too delicious. Lu Xiaofeng slapped his thigh and said, Can't you be serious? Well, to be honest, I feel that someone has died in that lake, and more than one person, Lu Xiaofeng said. What about the evidence? Same as you. There is nothing, just a man's intuition, Lu Xiaofeng said as he spread his hands. Ah, Go to sleep and think about how to proceed tomorrow. Lying on the bed, Lu Xiufeng whispered to himself, "Ah, I'm wondering why the person who sent you the message last time didn't appear this time." Chapter 909. It's not the right time yet, Yang Guanfeng said. I can feel it. Although there is no change on the surface this time, the security measures are much tighter than the last time. There are also a lot more spies. After all, he had been in this line of work for more than 10 years, so he had a lot of experience in this area. He didn't know if there were people tailing him or if those people were hidden sentries. Well, that Miao Qing phone follows us all day. He knows how to follow us. With him following us, what useful things do we want to find out? Lu Xiufeng lay on the bed and lit a cigarette. Hey, let's talk about Secretary Ge. Why are you suddenly interested in him? Yang Guanfeng asked. Hey, who wouldn't be interested in such a young cadre? Maybe one day he will become my boss. Hey, you don't look down on him, do you? How would I dare? Yang Guanfeng asked. His family's power is an important reason why he can reach this position at such a young age, Lu Xiufeng said. His own ability is also indispensable for his advancement. In other words, it is the most important thing, especially when his position is getting higher and higher. I have met Secretary Wu twice. He is indeed young and mature, or he is too scheming. Yang Guanfeng thought about it and used such an evaluation. Too scheming? Yes, very scheming. What kind of people were they? They were police officers. They had encountered all kinds of cases and seen all kinds of criminals. They had also developed an unusually sharp judgment ability. What kind of person's personality was, whether there was a potential threat or not, they could almost tell at a glance. Tell me the truth. Why are you suddenly asking this? Nothing, just pure curiosity, Lu Xiufeng said. Forget it. If you don't want to tell me, I won't ask. The two of them spoke softly for a while, mainly to communicate about matters related to the case. They then fell asleep one after another. There was a sudden crisp sound in the middle of the night. What's that sound? The two of them sat up from the bed almost at the same time. They touched the pistols at their waists. After a while, the room was pitch black, and there was nothing out of the ordinary. It was pitch black outside as well. No one. Wait. Yang Guanfeng didn't turn on the light. Instead, he groped around on the ground in the dark. Then, he found a small iron ball. It was the size of a glass bead and was very inconspicuous. The news is here. Using the light from the phone, they found a note inside the small metal ball. There was only one sentence inside. The Miaoxi River wants to live forever. F***CK. Lu Xiufeng cursed after seeing this sentence. Don't underestimate this simple sentence. In fact, the amount of information in it was very large. Of course, most people just thought about it, dreamed about it, and fantasized about it. However, some people put it into action, such as the emperors, the Qin emperors, the Egyptian pharaohs, and so on. However, those were ancient times. In fact, after entering the modern era, people basically stopped thinking about it. Of course, there were also some secret organizations that had been engaged in research in this area, but it was rarely publicized. Now, they suddenly received such a piece of news in this remote mountain village. What did this mean? It was understandable that the Miaoxi River wanted to live forever. However, it was definitely not as simple as the literal meaning. He wanted to live forever. Not only did he have this idea, but he had put it into action. Then the question came, how'd he do it? How did he put it into action? The first emperor of Qin had sent people to find the elixir of immortality, which had been passed down since ancient times. Some emperors also invited some Taoist priests from outside to refine the elixir. Those who cultivated did it through cultivation and taking elixirs. So far, these were the main methods they knew. There were two kinds. One was their own cultivation, and the other was with the help of external objects, which was the elixir. What kind of method would Miaoxi use? Combined with what they knew, the Valley of Thousands of Medicine was a lineage passed down from the king pharmacist. Furthermore, they did have considerable research in the field of medicine. Hundreds of years of lineage was not something that could be casually mentioned. It was most likely done through medicine. Then, the problem was that since it was a drug, it had to be tested. Few drugs were successful in one go. They had to go through many tests, such as animal tests and clinical trials. How would they test it? The two of them looked at each other. Obviously, they had both thought of this. This Chief Meow is really ambitious. Lu Xiaofeng exclaimed. What power! What wealth! They're nothing compared to immortality. We can't believe all of this, Yang Guanfeng whispered. We can't rule out the possibility that those in this mountain village who are dissatisfied with him want to use this opportunity to frame him. Well, but there are many ways to frame someone, Lu Xiaofeng said. This is the first time I've heard of such a special way. Hey, I remember you saying that there was a rumor in this mountain village that there was an old man over 200 years old. His eyes were very bright. He did not look drunk at all. Yes, that was a rumor. The rumor may not be true, but it may not be false either. We might as well make a bold assumption. The Valley of Thousands of Medicine, which has been passed down for hundreds of years, has inherited the lineage of the King of Medicine. In the beginning, they studied medicine and considered how to cure diseases and save people. Gradually, they developed to strengthen the human body and focused on prevention. Then, they inadvertently discovered that some things could prolong a person's life if taken over a long period of time. So, they began to study in this area, and it was passed down from generation to generation. For hundreds of years, there was a little progress every year. Such accumulation is very impressive and amazing. The old man who lived over 200 years old may be a successful test case of the results of this research. Chief Meow wants to go further. After all, immortality is a great temptation for anyone. Well, this speculation makes sense, but it is very difficult to prove it, Yang Guanfeng said. They were there to investigate the continuous death hundreds of miles away. They were not there to investigate immortality. Even if such a thing really existed, it must be the highest level secret in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Only a few people knew about it. Well, let me think about it. Don't mess around, Yang Guanfeng said. These words can't be said carelessly. Don't worry, I know what to do, Lu Xiaofeng said. The sky was bright. The air in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine was particularly fresh. It felt particularly smooth to breathe. In such an environment, there is no pollution at all, Lu Xiaofeng said. People work at sunrise and rest at sunset. The pace of life is slow, and there is no pressure to survive. People will definitely be healthy and live a long life. People who were sick were physically weak. Nowadays, all kinds of diseases were frequent. Some diseases were showing a trend of younger people because of pollution and people's fast pace of life. The pressure was too great. Where are we going today? The Miao Qingfeng asked. Well, the weather is good today, Lu Xiaofeng said. Well, is there anything to pay attention to at Soothing God's Lake? What do you mean, Captain Lu? The Miao Qingfeng was stunned. Well, you should be able to fish, right? Fishing? Of course you can. The Miao Qingfeng smiled and said, I'll arrange for someone to prepare it right away. Thank you. Fishing? Only you can think of something like that. I think we've been to a lot of places in the past 2 days, Lu Xiaofeng said. I thought about it all last night. I want to straighten out the current information before moving on to the next step. What do you think? Sure, Yang Guanfeng said. The three of them went to the lake. They looked at the beautiful lake, basked in the sun, and fished. Ah, Lu Xiaofeng yawned. What a pleasure. Haha, if Captain Lu likes it, you can come here often in the future, the Miao Qingfeng said. That can't be done. It's against the rules. Lu Xiaofeng took out a cigarette box. Well, is it okay to smoke here? It's fine. Can I ask why this is called Soothing God's Lake? Well, according to the older generation, this lake can let the people in this stockade rest in peace. Chapter 9:10. This lake can let the dead rest in peace. Hey, you guys didn't bury those dead people in the lake, did you? Lu Xiaofeng asked. Really? The Miao Qingfeng was silent for a while, but the smile on his face was gone. It was replaced by a serious look. But I remember there are a lot of graves on the mountain. Yang Guanfeng pointed to the peak diagonally opposite. They had seen it the last time they went up. They had also seen it this time. The Miao Qingfeng had also said that it was the place where the dead in the village were buried. Well, it depends on the wishes of the deceased and his identity. It also depends on his identity. What do you mean? Most of the women are buried in the lake, and most of the men are buried in the mountain, the Miao Ching Feng said. How do you bury them? Make a bamboo raft, let the deceased lie on it, and then let it float quietly on the lake. Then, don't you care? Yes. Well, if I may say something disrespectful to the deceased, do they all end up in the belly of the fish? Lu Xiaofeng asked. After he said this, the corner of Yang Guanfeng's mouth twitched. You really dare to say anything? Haha. There's nothing wrong with understanding it this way, the Miao Ching Feng said. This method is just like in Tibet. Don't they still hold sky burials? In the end, it is handled by the eagles, isn't it? The Miao Ching Feng said. Besides, this custom is basically abolished now, the Miao Ching Feng said. Unless someone specifically requests it, we all bury them. Is that so? Yes. Oh, who was the last person to be buried in the lake? When was it? In my impression, it was an old man in the stockade, about 4 months ago, the Miao Ching Feng said. Well, okay. Thank you, Lu Xiaofeng said. It's okay. Gurgle, gurgle. The bobber moved a little. The fish took the bait. Lu Xiaofeng shouted happily. He raised a rod and caught a fish more than a foot long. Under his gaze, the scales shone. Well, not bad, he said with a smile. Hey, how old was the old man when he died? 102. Wow, longevity. Lu Xiaofeng exclaimed. Are there many old people in your village? Yes. Our village has a good environment and a slow pace of life. Most of the villagers know some medicine and pay attention to their health. That's why many of us live a long life. I don't have any statistics, but I think the average lifespan of the villagers is more than 90. That old man is not considered old, said the Miao Ching Feng. Damn, is it that powerful? Is there any unique secret? Hey, is there any kind of legendary immortal herb in the deep mountains that can make one immortal after eating it? For example, 1,000-year-old ginseng, lingzhi, and so on? Miao Ching Feng was stunned after hearing that. Ah, I think, Captain Liu, you've watched too many novels and movies. How could there be such a thing? No. I don't know if there are such things in other places, but we don't have them in our village, the Miao Ching Feng said. 1,000-year-old ginseng and fleece flower are very rare elixirs. They can be called treasures of heaven and earth. Hey, is there any elixir or something like that in this place that can prolong one's life after eating it? Elixir? Ha ha ha. Miao Ching Feng laughed heartily. There is no such thing. If there is, I'll be the first to find a way to eat it. Oh, Tisk, to be honest, I'm under a lot of pressure at work, Lu Xiaofeng said. I feel that my body is getting worse and worse. I don't think I can live to be 100 years old. I'll be thankful if I can live to be 80 years old. Captain Liu, I think you have the appearance of longevity, the Miao Ching Feng said. Really? You know how to read people's faces? I know a little. I taught myself. Then look at him. Lu Xiaofeng pointed at Yang Guanfeng. Captain Yang is also a person with longevity, the Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. Yang Guanfeng just smiled. He didn't take it to heart and didn't take it seriously. Hey, another fish took the bait. Lu Xiaofeng raised the fishing rod. It was another big fish. Hey, today's luck is really good. Hey, is this fish delicious? It's delicious, the Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. Steamed, fried, and boiled, the taste is very delicious. We had this kind of fish a few times before. That's good. I'll let you taste my cooking today. Captain Liu, are you a cooking expert? I'm not an expert, but I'm good at cooking fish. I'll treat you to lunch at noon. No, I'll present you with borrowed flowers, Lu Xiaofeng said. Please do me the honor, Mr. Miao. Sure, the Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. For the whole morning, the three of them talked and laughed. They basically didn't ask anything related to the case. Instead, they talked about a lot of things. I didn't expect Brother Miao to be so knowledgeable. You must have been to a lot of places, right? In just one morning, through in-depth and sincere communication, the Miao Ching Feng had changed the way he addressed Miao Ching Feng. He directly called him brother. Brother, you flatter me. Judging from your knowledge, you must have been to a lot of places, right? Well, in fact, I go out a few times every year, the Miao Ching Feng said. Oh, so this stockade is not really isolated from the outside world. It's just that it rarely communicates with the outside world, right? Yes. In today's society, it's impossible to be completely isolated from the outside world. We are not like Tao Yuanming's paradise, the Miao Qing Feng said with a smile. Yes, yes. If such a good place is really isolated from the outside world and doesn't communicate with the outside world, then it's a pity. Sigh, the scenery here is so good. Why don't you do a tourism project? It's very popular now. There are many rich people out there. A place like this without pollution is very attractive to them. Brother Liu, we just want to live a peaceful life. We don't want to be disturbed by outsiders. In fact, this is a habit passed down from generation to generation. It's already ingrained in our bones. I've been to the outside world and experienced the rich and colorful life in the big cities. At first, I thought it was very fresh and exciting. It's better than living in the stockade. But after a long time, I feel that life in the stockade is better. We are self-sufficient. We grow our own food and raise our own crops. If we are sick, we can treat ourselves. The environment here is good, and the interpersonal relationships in the stockade are good. It's very harmonious. It's not as cold as the outside world. What's the point of going out there and earning so much money? Doesn't anyone want to go out? Yang Guanfeng interrupted. Yes, of course. Everyone has their own ideas, right? Some people have gone out, but there are rules in our stockade. They can go out and come back to visit their parents, but they can't bring people from the outside. People who go out can't marry girls in the stockade, and they can't marry men in the stockade unless both of them go out and their names are removed from the family tree, the Miao Qing Feng said. Isn't this a bit too much? But the Miao Qing Feng said with certainty. In the past few years that I've been away, I've visited a lot of places. Those once pure lands have become secular after the commercialization. They've lost their original tranquility and simplicity. Most of the people who used to live there have also changed. In fact, their lives aren't that happy. I've talked to them. They want to return to the way they used to live, but they can't go back. It's like a tank of water that was originally very clean. You drip a few drops of ink into it. It's easy to drip them in, but if you want to separate them and restore the original purity, it's difficult. It's basically impossible, the Miao Qing Feng said. I love the stockade. This is my hometown. I hope it can continue to maintain its simplicity and homesickness. It won't be affected by the materialistic desires of the outside world. When he said these words, he was very serious and serious. Well, I can understand your thoughts. Lu Xiufeng patted him on the shoulder. In fact, he had also been to many places, such as Shangri-La and ancient Phoenix City. What had become of them now? How many of the things from the past were left? Some things could not be measured by money. Some things, once lost, could never be recovered. Chief Miao thinks so too, right? Yes, Chief Miao thinks so and does so. He's a firm enforcer and defender of the ancient rules, the Miao Qing Feng said. Sometimes, he's even a little unreasonable. Really? If he's unreasonable, won't you hate him? How can that be? In fact, some people in the village left because of Chief Miao Qing Feng, the Miao Qing Feng said. He will never bend on certain issues. He will never back down on matters of principle? Yes. People who stick to their principles are very rare everywhere, Lu Xiufeng said. Yes. Well, that's all for today. Thank you. You're welcome. Don't forget to come for fish at noon. It would be even better if you can bring 2 bottles of fish. Of course. The two of them carried bamboo baskets with a few fish they caught in the morning. After returning to the residence, Lu Xiufeng really got busy. He cleaned up the fish and prepared to make lunch. You're really something. You used other people's fish to entertain them. What should I do? I can't possibly invite them out for lunch. The nearest restaurant is at least 5 hours away. 5.5 hours. That's right. I'm just presenting them with borrowed flowers. Besides, my way of doing things is different from theirs. Just wait and see. Lu Xiufeng busied himself nonstop. At noon, the Miao Qing Feng came to their residence with a jar of wine. There were a few dishes on the table. 2 of them were fish. One was braised, and the other was boiled. It emitted a tempting aroma. The other 2 dishes were stir-fried vegetables. Chapter 911. It looks good. I didn't expect Captain Lou to have such skills. I brought a chicken from home. It's air-dried, the Miao Ching Feng said. Ah, there's no need for the chicken. We're waiting for your jar of wine, Lu Xiaofeng said with a smile. I brought it with me. It's enough for us to drink, the Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. He had brought a large jar of wine, which weighed at least 5 kilograms. Come, have a taste of my cooking. Well, not bad. The Miao Ching Feng gave Lu Xiaofeng a thumbs up after tasting the food he cooked. How is it? Is it okay? It's quite good. Come on, drink. Drink. The three of them did not drink with wine glasses. Instead, they drank with big bowls. It looked very heroic. Captains, may I ask how far the case has progressed? Originally, this is confidential. I can't disclose it casually, but since you asked, it's okay to tell you. Now, we're basically sure that the suspect is Miao Ching Shan, but we're not sure if he's alone or if he has accomplices. Are you sure? No. Ah, Brother Miao, have you noticed anyone in your stockade has been acting strangely recently? Oh, well, no. Then, who often goes out of the stockade? To be honest, it's me. The Miao Ching Feng said very seriously. Recently, I've been out the longest and the most times. The others in the stockade rarely go out. Lu Xiaofeng smiled and waved his hand. Is there a school in the stockade? It can only be regarded as a school. What about middle school and high school? Yang Guanfeng asked. It's still according to the rules, the Miao Ching Feng said with a smile. If they want to go to school, they go out, but if they go out, they can't come back. Isn't that too harsh on him? It's not that harsh. It's not that strict. In fact, some time ago, 2 students came back. The patriarch was quite happy, but when he heard that they wanted to change the stockade to attract outside investment and make the people in the village rich, he was very unhappy. They're right. I think it's wrong, Miao Ching Feng said. They don't know what the people in this stockade want or what their parents want. Since then, the chief has been firm in his previous idea. Once they go out, they can't come back. At most, they can only stay for 2 days to see their parents. Actually, they can also take their parents out. There are indeed a few families who have done so. When I went out, I saw that they were doing well outside. A doctor? To be a doctor in the outside world, one needs the relevant qualifications, right? Some open restaurants, some become doctors. I've also talked to them. The young people don't regret it. They feel that the outside world is very exciting, much more interesting than this small mountain village. However, most of their parents regret it. They don't like the life in the big city. They want to come back more than once, but they've been rejected by the chief. Well, I can understand that, Lu Xiaofeng said. The 3 of them ate and drank in the afternoon, enjoying themselves very much. Thousands of miles away in Lianshan County, in Rinhe Clinic. Xiaopan, you're not working today? I was on duty in the morning, but I'm free in the afternoon. Uncle, were you feeling unwell? I don't know what's wrong with me recently. My body is getting worse and worse. I can't lift my spirits up no matter what I do. Can you take a look at me? Have you been to the hospital? Yes, I've been checked. There's nothing wrong with my body. Then what's going on? Pan Jun asked. He gave the old man a preliminary examination. He knew the old man well. He had an operation last year. Although it was not serious, it was an operation and damaged his vitality. Moreover, it was in the winter, so he had to recuperate for a long time. It shouldn't be a big problem. Oh, by the way, I happen to have a new medicine here that can consolidate your vitality. Do you want to try it? Pan Jun suddenly thought of the new medicine. Sure, the old man said with a smile. Deep down, he didn't have much hope. Wait a moment. I'll go and get it for you. Pan Jun soon came back with a bottle of medicine. This is it. Primordial spirit soup? Yes, just take it according to the instructions on the bottle, Pan Jun said. Okay, I got it. Thank you, Xiao Pan. You're welcome. The old man took the medicine and left. He returned home. Dad, where have you been? His son was at home. I went to the clinic downstairs to get some medicine. Didn't I say I'd take you out to have a look today? Did you go to that small clinic again? What small clinic? Xiao Pan is the director of the emergency department in the county hospital. I know, but it's just the emergency department. It's not a professional department. Okay, I've taken medicine. I'll try it. The old man waved his hand. What medicine is it? His son took the medicine and looked at it carefully. This is produced here. He found that the primordial spirit soup was produced by a newly built pharmaceutical factory in Lianshan County. He had heard of the pharmaceutical factory some time ago. It was not that he looked down on local companies, but could the medicine produced by a newly built pharmaceutical factory be trusted? Dad, I think you shouldn't drink this medicine. Why? I've already paid for it. I'm worried. Look, it's locally produced. What's wrong with locally produced? The old man frowned. He felt more and more that he did not get along with his son. He looked down on this, and that just because he made some money. Forget it. If there's nothing else, go do your work. I'm fine. Mom, take some time to persuade my dad. The man did not say anything more. Instead, he said a few words to his mother. Okay, I know. Don't take it to heart. It's not like you don't know your dad's temper. Okay. After her son left, the woman said to her husband, Our son means well. You're always like this. I just can't stand him like that, the man said. He's suddenly rich and doesn't know his surname. He's your son after all. He's filial to you. I know, the man said. By the way, did you get this medicine from Xiaopan? Yes, I'll try it. Maybe it'll work. In the mountain village, Wang Yao received several patients in the afternoon. They all had colds and headaches. It was not a big problem. Sir, are you free tonight? That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.